Well, if one person's doing it, it's fine, right?
Cease conversation.
Okay.
Oh.
Welcome to the Brown Bricks Podcast. The most amount of fun you can have while listening to a podcast.
The most, goddammit!
Remember to email us at brownbrickspodcast@gmail.com. And today we have a very special guest.
They're just a normal guest.
We call him the Joker.
Well,
No.
yeah, we call him the Joker.
Nobody called him
Alright,
that.
look, we got a Jack and a Jackson already. This fucking bozo is also a Jack. So we're gonna go ahead and call him the Joker.
No, please don't.
Yeah.
I would hate that.
Just to keep things straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
Okay.
real name is Jackson, by the way. He just goes by
His-
Jack.
Yeah. Like a
Legal
dickhead.
name.
Sometimes I go by Jackson when I'm at work.
Yeah, that's fucking wrong.
Yeah,
They're wrong.
it's dirty.
There can only be one. You ever
Sometimes-
watched that movie?
Highlander?
Highlander?
What is it?
No, was it one Jet Li?
Oh,
one?
yeah.
People say there can only be one.
Yeah,
That's like definitely the
Yeah,
Highlander.
that is 100%
I know
the
what movie he
Highlander.
means. He means the movie where there's a bunch
Yeah,
of
there's a
Jet
bunch of
Lis,
Jet Li, and
every
the
time
more
a
you
Jet
kill-
Li dies,
Yeah.
the stronger the other Jet Lis become.
If you kill one of your
That
other
sounds like a Rick and Morty
versions-
bit.
Yeah, no, this is
a real movie. How
100
have you
Jet
guys
Lis.
not heard
Kill
of this?
one-
okay,
Jet Li.
but when you say there could only be one,
Yeah,
that
is Highlander
always
as well.
the Highlander.
But yeah,
Yes.
That is
whatever.
never this
well,
Jet
no,
Li
no
movie
one's
you're
blaming
talking-
you guys for assuming Highlander first, but now we know he's talking about it.
I'm
Let's
talking
move on.
about the Jet Li movie called The One.
The
Yeah.
one?
Yeah,
Because they're trying to get down to one, the most powerful
he wants
Jet
to be
Li.
Okay.
the only Jet Li.
Although he's not called Jet Li in the movie.
What's he called?
I don't know.
Martin Lee.
Yeah, Martin
Yeah,
Smith.
there's like a good Jet Li and there's an evil Jet Li.
What about the other 98?
Yeah,
Well, there's not
Neutral
There's
Li.
98. They're just
Yeah.
in alternate universes. They could just be like a garbage man Jet Li
wait, so
or something.
there are only 100 alternate universes?
No, I don't know why you assumed 100. I think there's just like a lot of them.
I thought it was
Or
100.
maybe there's 100.
I thought you said
I haven't
100.
seen this movie.
Yeah, I thought someone
I
here
didn't
said
say
100.
Alright, who here has seen this movie?
I've not fucking seen this movie.
I've never even heard of it.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I just
I-
know about it.
I'm like 90% sure you guys came up with this bit on the way
No,
over
I
here
think
to
we've
fuck
talked
with me.
about this movie on the podcast before also.
I don't believe that. I would have
Maybe-
remembered
maybe
the
not.
Jet
Okay.
Li.
Discord call.
The best part of that movie, though, is the end of the movie where evil Jet Li has this awesome line where he's like, I am nobody's bitch. You are mine. And then he beats the shit out of like a fuck ton of dudes, and that's just the end of the
Is it
movie.
Jet Li?
Oh, so evil Jet Li wins?
No, he doesn't win. I
Wait.
think that's just, he's like condemned to like a prison universe or some shit like that.
That's
Wait, why don't they just kill him so he can become more powerful?
These guys not have guns?
Wow, because that's not what they want to do. They just want to get rid of this evil Jet Li. I don't fucking know. I've seen the movie.
You can get rid of him and also become more powerful. This seems like a Whoever wrote this, pathetic.
It was Jet Li.
If you were walking in the
Probably Jet Li,
street
yeah.
and you saw someone who looked exactly like you, would you kill them immediately for the chance of becoming more powerful?
If they look
Um,
exactly
no.
like
If
me, I
they
would
look-
just kill them
They're wearing the
regardless.
same
If
clothes
he-
as you.
If he turned to
You
me
ask
and
for
said,
their ID and they go, "Look, it's you."
he said, "Look, it's you,
doppelganger
and if you
completely.
kill me, you may become more powerful." I'm not 100 on
May.
this, but
In that situation, you would kill him.
I think I would talk to him for a little bit.
Yeah,
would-
I try and figure out like I'm having a stroke or something.
No
Yeah.
words exchanged in my case. Just
No, yeah,
immediate
we'd know.
karate
You're
chop
Sam.
to the neck.
No, yeah,
What if
you
you
both
fucking destroyed your own neck?
you both do like mirror.
My neck is hurt. That'd be awesome.
What if
yeah.
this?
That's
What if this
crazy.
was an alternate universe you, but the only difference is you're an expert at hand-to-hand combat?
Uh,
so you try to
I
get that.
lose. Yeah, you try and go for the throat immediately. Just kick
Imagine
your
you
ass.
being like the guy who's just in one of like the other 98 universes. So you're just like a schlub who like one of your other ones just comes in and cuts down.
Whacks you.
That's the fucking
Yeah.
that's the fucking plague tweet where he's talking about like I woke up last night and there was like a magic fairy and then a younger version
Oh,
of me
yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's like, and this is what happens if you continue on this path, and he's like, no, please don't let me go down here, I'll do anything, and they just teleported away. It was really weird.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's like someone saw the first half
Nightmare
of A
Before-
Christmas Carol.
Yeah, the Nightmare Before Christmas, except you're the guy in the
Yeah,
vision.
you're the ending.
What about that Jet Li movie? Every time you kill another Jet Li, you become weaker, so no one kills anyone.
Yeah, that's the.
They all have to learn how to coexist
Yeah.
as a cohesive Jet
Or
Li unit.
not even coexist, they can just avoid each other.
Yeah.
That'd be a good movie.
These are the like just shitty kung fu movies, right?
Jet Li.
Dude, there's
Shitty.
so
Jet
many of
Li's,
them.
Yeah, like what-
I mean, he's like a famous,
Fearless,
kung fu.
Fist of Legend, Once
Kung
Upon
Fu
a
movie
Time
guy.
in China. Like what? These all seem like shit.
He's like,
Are they any good?
They're all
Like,
similar,
I
but
don't
they're
know.
all like cool and like if
It's
the
like-
special effects and like practical stuff going on is like fun enough.
He's
they're
like
all pretty
serious Jackie Chan, I guess.
If you
Yeah.
dig westerns, I feel like this is like a super similar.
It's like the other direction.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's just not a
Some
Western.
are
Yeah,
to the
Eastern.
west,
These
others-
are these are called
Easterns.
Easterns.
Yeah, spaghetti Easterns. 'Cause they're-
No, ramen Easterns.
Yeah, ramen
Ramen
Easterns. They're all filmed in China.
Some of those are good. Like, have you guys seen The Drunken Master with Jackie Chan?
Oh, dude,
Oh,
Jackie
God.
Chan's such a good actor. Well, he's
Yeah.
like
No.
he's such a good physical actor.
Yeah, his physical. Yeah, for sure.
And he's
Yeah.
also like apparently he's like a high class martial artist, but he just loved like Buster Keaton, and so that's why all of his shit's like super comedic focused because he
Yeah.
was like, okay,
That's
what if
interesting.
Buster Keaton could also do kung fu?
Could also
And that's
kick
why
ass.
that was his like entire thesis, and then he made a bunch of movies that were pretty good.
Yeah,
And, like,
and the
the thing
Spy Next Door.
Yeah.
Classic.
It's
Fucking
true.
Tuxedo. Was he in Tuxedo?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember. Is
Probably
it about
like
penguins?
100 movies about.
He was in a porn. Like, he was in a fucking softcore porn in
That's
China.
pretty cool.
Chop
His
some guy's
dick
dick
out.
off.
Have you seen the one?
No, it's softcore. And he fucking definitely owned up to it. He was like, "Oh, it was a different time." You know, I would do anything for money. I was
Some
21.
people did blackface. Some people did softcore porn. It was.
What's like, who's watching softcore porn? Who's out there watching?
Exactly.
It was like
Yeah.
in 1969, I think.
Oh.
No,
So
I
yes,
feel like
that
that's
makes
just
sense.
because that was
It's
that's
the
as
crime.
steamy as you could get.
Yeah.
In like a probably a
It's
lot.
And
crime.
have it still be like easily distributed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have that at like the 50-cent theater or whatever.
Yeah, because the internet at this point just means that you can get whatever you want. But before,
As
when
filthy as you want to.
yeah, before when like things were strictly brought like prohibited and
You had to
stuff.
get somebody to show it in your theater. Like,
Yeah,
porn
or, like-
theaters existed.
or people
Yeah.
had to like buy it from like a CD like
Back when
video
the-
store.
What was the big old Shanghai theater in LA?
Oh, yeah.
Back when that was just a normal porn theater.
You know, I don't
Just
understand.
Chinese
Would,
themed.
would people jerk off?
That's what I was just
Yeah,
gonna say.
it's
I don't
like-
understand how people got in trouble for that.
Yeah,
Like, what do you
was it?
expect?
Pee-wee
Yeah.
You're gonna
Pee-wee
go and
Herman,
not
yeah.
masturbate to pornography? Like,
That is such a weird
What am I
thing
doing
where it's
here?
Like,
like, what am I? It's an hour and a half.
Meant to get yourself worked up and then relieve yourself in the bathroom.
Or yeah, did they have like?
That's a courtesy
I
stall.
watch. Sometimes
Mental
I watch
images.
porn that way. I just like watch porn, not even touch my dick. I just get myself worked up. I'm like, I'm gonna jack off later.
So why are you asking
I'm
about
all warmed
softcore
up.
porn? That seems
You
like
get
it'd be
it,
right
man.
up your alley.
No,
though.
I get myself worked up with hardcore porn.
Well, yeah, but I feel like softcore porn would work for that too if you aren't
No.
immediately
Yeah,
drinking.
I'm too desensitized for that to
Okay.
possibly work.
Okay.
yeah,
God,
you've got to
that's-
get the real.
Wait,
weird shit.
okay, I mean, a lot of the time I'm like, getting it up to the idea of just like kissing a girl, I like that idea.
How old are you?
I'm like 12. You guys just let me drink the beer here. I know.
Sexually.
No, here's what happens with me. I'll be reading manga. There'll be some booba in the manga. And I'll be like, all right, it's 4 p.m. I guess I'll watch porn
I'm gonna be horny the whole day.
for
Yeah.
until like 9. So 5 hours.
Is this
No
true?
touching.
Yeah, no, I get it. You gotta start early because you want to end at
it's
night.
it's an exaggeration.
Yeah, you jump on Discord and you just start watching porn. You,
Jump
Yeah,
on
well,
Discord.
sometimes I'm already in Discord and I forget you guys get. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, I don't leave it on push to talk.
And I close out a tab. I'm like, I'll come back to you later.
Oh, hey, somebody joined the call.
Look, I might be playing some Minecraft for a bit. A brief interim.
Wait, doesn't that like warm you down though? Don't you want to like keep the combo going?
Warming down or cooling down, as we otherwise call it,
This is
is part of the process.
Yeah,
this is
you
just
gotta
like
edge
extreme
yourself.
edging. Yeah,
This sounds
Edge.
like fucking hell.
yeah, this is like
The only
what they
reason-
do to torture
Look,
people.
You can take it too far. You gotta. That's why I'm saying you don't touch yourself. Because if you touch yourself, you're gonna be in pain.
This is some Buddhist monk shit.
This is the 4 paths to
You
enlightenment.
you will blue ball yourself like really bad.
No, this is some
If you
Clockwork
touch-
Orange shit.
But then when you finally get around to it, you'll bust hard. You'll be like,
Yeah.
you won't
I
necessarily
agree.
bust more, but the
How do you
speed and
know,
force at
If
which
you
it
take a
shoots
long
out.
time, but you gotta
like I
not
think I
go
could
too
hurt
long.
someone. with the biggest,
That's an anime
most
character.
powerful
Yeah.
ones.
Bullet count guy.
It's just
the guy,
Like,
the grunts would fit right.
I do in the
Yeah.
bathroom into the toilet bowl, and it's like loud.
You
when
hear
I do
them.
it that way.
yeah,
It's like the toilet
it sounds
bowl.
like
When
you're
it hits-
spitting
when it
inside
hits
of like
the
a.
porcelain, it's like it's loud.
It sounds like you're spitting into a bucket. It's like a cowboy. It's like,
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Sunflower seed.
Almost precisely, yeah.
that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah,
You guys should try it out.
you still have like issues from when you had your kidney stone, so clots just form in your sperm, and it's just making a loud noise.
Well, now
against
it's
the
easier
inside.
for me to come
Oh,
because
'cause it's
opened
widened.
up.
Oh,
It's
shit.
upgraded,
Yeah, it's true. You can
Widen
you
your
can
hole.
sound the shit out of that
The
thing.
diameter of my cums is bigger than ever before.
It's like a toothpaste tube.
That's
Gotta
terrible.
like squeeze it from the bottom up.
It's like pushing down the nozzle on the can of whipped cream.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
It comes out and almost.
Wow,
Does it
that is
sound?
that. Yeah, yeah, like an aerosol.
Yeah.
My balls at this point filled only with aerosol.
Yeah, whipped cream come.
You can actually, a bunch of people have done basically whippets from my balls at this
Yeah.
point. You just put it up your nose and I come.
Have you guys ever done whippets?
No.
We were thinking about getting real into whippets.
Well, I was asking if Tage wanted to do it with me, and he said no.
No.
Said
Oh,
no.
I like my brain cells just where they
It's
are.
weird because it's
What?
like excellent for like a minute and a half, and then you're just sober.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's just
And then
like,
if you do it too much, you're dead.
it's like sniffing a marker. It's like a kid. You're like, oh, I'm feeling so woozy. And then like after 5 seconds, you're like, alright, I'm fine. It's the same like idea, I imagine, where you're just like huffing this aerosol and then it goes through your system.
It's, like,
immediately.
trippy. Like-
and you're like, alright.
straight nitrous, like you get like
Yeah.
visual effects. It's like low grade LSD.
I mean that's.
Well,
It sounds
that's
like
really
fucking
fucking
good.
up your brain.
Yeah,
That's
the
what-
question
for a little
Dude,
bit.
What
Yeah.
do I need my fucking brain for? I'm working at Jimmy John's.
Yeah, but he just gets fired from his Jimmy John's job for being on a podcast.
For being on whippets while making sandwiches.
That would be so funny. You just have like a box full of cans of like of
Yeah, what do you need
nitros.
aerosol for?
And
Jimmy
you
John's?
just you just
My
think
manager's like, you used the computer and ordered a bunch of whipped cream, like some canisters here. It's like, I had a cool idea for a limited time offer sandwich. They're like,
you just,
They're
you
like,
just put the
okay,
nitrous cans.
where are the canisters? It's like, about that.
It didn't work. It didn't work.
I made the sandwiches, I ate them, there's no more canisters.
It was a good
It
promotion.
was
We're
a good-
gonna have to write it off as a business expense.
And the business suspense was me getting really mad at all the customers while I was
Yeah.
working drive-through because I was just high as balls.
Me holding the little thing over the counter of the dispenser, be like, "You want some?
Wanna
Are you a rewards member?
sniff
We'll
some?
give it to you." For
Are you a
free."
rewards member? I wouldn't even know like where to get
To get nitrous?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can buy it online. It's legal.
No shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
you totally can.
No, you can. No, of course.
You can buy it
That's-
online. I'm sure you can buy it online.
You can,
I don't know if
like,
it's like
you get it
No,
from
it's
like
yeah.
paint
People.
cans.
Yeah,
Fucking all
What
sorts of
there's
shit.
these canisters.
Any
You screw them
aerosol
in,
stuff.
and it's how you like eject the whipped cream.
Oh, that's so yeah. The little fucking metal
Yeah,
silver
the little
tubes.
tiny
Yeah,
things.
no, the metal silver tubes you can definitely just get in
With
bulk
aerosol,
in a lot of
yeah,
I think
places.
the dispenser you screw them into is the main cost.
Yeah,
the little canisters are actually like pretty cheap. You can get like a box of like 25 of them for
Nitrous
not that
oxide.
much.
Yeah,
They
no.
should-
There's always like one or two hanging around any party where there's just like canisters, and you're like, I wonder whose this is.
Is that what happens at the parties you
Uh,
go to?
One time I went to a place and it was me and a guy who like knows a lot more about drugs than me, and another guy who's doesn't know a ton about drugs, but he found a fucking nitrous can on the ground, and he just ran up to him and he's like, Ben, teach me how to do this.
Teach me. I think it's like the easiest drug to do.
I can.
Besides
sympathize
taking
with that.
pills.
It's I mean it's kind
Well,
of.
you're meant to take like B12 supplements with it.
You
'cause
are,
it deprives
yeah.
you of that, and then you gotta make
B12.
sure. Yeah,
What is that?
it's a
It's a
vitamin.
vitamin.
Well, yeah, but why do you need
It's
that?
something that you have less of if you're taking nitrous oxide.
Yeah.
Vitamin B12 deficiency will kill you.
What does it do?
Oh man,
It's
so
makes
many
you
things.
alive.
It's crazy.
It
Chemically,
makes you
it's
live.
like
It's
a
one of
I
those-
ain't never taken any B12.
It's
I
one
don't
of
know.
those things
how
that
am I
acai
alive?
berry. It's antioxidant.
Okay.
Oh, one of those.
It's not. I just
no,
made that
no,
up.
it's,
I
it's
bet
a
it
coenzyme.
is.
It's a coenzyme. So you need it for like.
It's a coenzyme, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, I misspoke. I said.
I said anti-coenzyme.
All right. Well, now that we know that all you need is a B12 supplement, it sounds
That's
like
not all
it's
you
pretty-
need.
No,
Sam.
we don't really.
That's all I
Sounds
need
like
to
it's pretty
survive.
safe. Look, I read online that it's safe, and if you start spasming a bit, to just take some deep breaths.
Just
'Cause
die.
Is
That
this
means
this
you don't have
podcast
more
just gonna be
oxygen.
us trying to eventually convince everyone to do whippets on the next podcast?
Just any drug.
Just
we
a
can
whi- a
convince
whippets
children to do.
podcast.
Just whatever. Yeah. Let's go to just like.
That'd
a
be so
lower-
funny if we just
Let's
had
go to a
a
middle school and be like, if you can get onto your parents' Amazon account, you can buy all of this legally, and then we shouldn't. And then we
Speaking
go.
of legal shit that'll fuck you up, like I don't smoke weed because it gives me like panic attacks and severe paranoia.
Yeah.
That's a good reason not to do it.
Yeah. So the other night we were over here in Phineas. Was like, I have this extract. It's
Delta
just,
8.
It's Delta 8. It's basically just fucking. It's not real weed. And I was like, all right. I took like fucking twice the recommended dose because I was drinking. And that night I just had a severe panic. I
Oh,
called
no.
Phineas. At, like,
Yeah.
Jesus. I was like, what the fuck is this?
No.
Is this
Yeah.
K2? Like, if I go to sleep, am I gonna wake up?
Yeah.
Shit.
I felt bad after that. I'm like, well, you sounded pretty calm. I'll say that. It sounded
I was inside
Well,
was
yeah,
a
no,
fucking
the-
torrential rain of like,
Like,
oh my
Panic
God.
attacks are not like
Finish.
you just like screaming.
What have you
it's
given
more
me?
just like
That's what it was. He's like, how close is it to weed? I'm like, pretty much the same thing, just right from hemp instead.
And I was like, fuck! Why
I
did
should
you?
know.
no, yeah, that's
Look, I
the
like it.
I was like,
It's illegal.
if I take a Xanax, will I just die in the morning? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
How's my heart doing
definitely.
right now?
Well, that's always the
Yeah,
fun thing with
the
like
heart.
with panic attacks. It's more like a chemical thing where it's like, oh wait. The nice thing is that like you can like tell yourself it's like, all right, the things that like my body's doing right now. Physically, it cannot keep this up for like very long.
Yeah,
like
it might
physically, it's going to run out of adrenaline. It's going to be like, all right, cool. We don't have enough to keep doing this.
I got
But
on the exercise bike because that's what I do when I'm anxious, and I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus, what if I'm overloading my heart? I just stop.
overload. Imagine it's just like
All right.
pump.
Well, I'll
pumping
say
too
that
hard.
I did that among other things, and I felt great. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah,
seriously.
You're probably just having a case of hysteria.
You're probably
Yeah.
just a bitch.
My humors were unbalanced.
Yeah.
My
You should have
uterus.
bled
Yeah, you
yourself.
should
a
have
bit.
tried bloodletting.
Well, I had some leeches. I wish I was here because I could have given you some leeches to bloodlet some
It's
shit.
insane that that was like doctors that did that. Like that seems like something that like my fucking like stoner cousin would think of. Like,
But,
I
like,
don't know,
to be
poison
fair-
in the blood. Less blood.
To be fair, there's also this sense of like
There's some
people
common
didn't know what
sense
like
to it if you don't know about other.
If you
things.
don't
Yeah.
understand
Well,
it at
because-
all.
We'll probably get rid of
You're
some
like-
of the disease.
Yeah, because-
Like you
That's
figure
in
out
your
that
blood.
there's important health stuff in blood, and you're like, their health is not good. Maybe it's in the blood.
Yeah, well-
and then sometimes it fucking works.
Sometimes it
Yeah,
ain't better.
well, that's the whole
sometimes
thing.
it does help.
because I
Confirmation
mean
bias.
it's not like the most helpful thing, but it's also like when you don't know what like germs are, when you don't know like what germ
What's
theory
causing it.
is, then you're probably gonna be like, well, there's probably like some sort of like devil thing, and like I feel like a step up from that is also like, all right, the body, something in the,
The
body
germ
is
devil.
causing this. Let's just bloodlet.
Somebody get some sage.
Yeah,
Like,
there
that's-
were like 5 guys in the Middle Ages sitting around in a room talking about like how crazy was it before doctors figured out about blood.
Blood. Yeah. What did we do? We
They
ate.
used to just pray to some tree guy.
Yeah, they
We just ate some shitty plant off the ground and thought that was good enough.
I mean, honestly, that probably loops
Yeah.
back around because at this
The
point,
plan
like,
is probably
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy is that we
Fucking
put
plans shit.
dead viruses in people. No autism for me thing.
yeah, that would be really funny
Yeah,
if like
200
later down
years.
the line people are like shitting on anti-vaxxers, but like later down the line medically they're just proven 100% right.
That's where all the autism in America has come from.
No, it's like
Yeah.
it actually. Like it doesn't actually do anything bad. It just makes you like anime a little bit more, but that's enough cause to be like, all right, no more vaccines, guys.
We gotta put a stop to this.
Yeah.
Just like 3 million children just fucking have measles and shit. Like, at least
Yeah.
they don't like anime.
Yeah.
That's a win for
At
us.
least they don't like
That'd be so-
Japan's economy tanks. They start putting out like pro-vaccine propaganda.
Yeah. They're like, guys, if you take vaccines, you won't get measles. It's like a guy with like
Japan
fucking.
starts inventing viruses that are even worse.
Yeah.
Just to be like, and the vaccines for it too. They're like, you guys want?
You guys gotta have it.
That'd be-
America's still holding out. They're like, no way.
That'd
Not
be
a
funny.
problem.
The,
Kill us with viruses. All you
fucking yeah,
never
we're
watch
not
it.
watching anime.
the fucking president of the United States is in an iron lung, but he's like, hold strong, people. Attack on Titan isn't that good, okay?
I've seen a little bit of it. I maybe had a little bit of the vaccine.
Yeah, and it seems uber gay.
It's,
I'm not gonna
it's not
lie.
that good.
You seen all the yelling they do? Speaking of
Nani?
Speaking of autism, fucking panic attacks and anime, have you guys seen fucking Wonder Egg Priority?
No, I've heard that's good.
It's a good ass
It's
show.
like about depression and stuff.
Yeah, but it's
Sounds
like,
a random name generator came up with the title.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Wonder
probably.
Egg.
You should
Well, it's
see
about-
titles
There's
for
an
like
egg.
light novels.
Yeah.
Light
Well,
novels.
those all like make sense, but it's always just like a joke.
Too
Like,
long.
Well, yeah, it's so long. It's like I was
Mm-hmm.
teleported to another world based off of my favorite video game, but I have the weakest job of appraiser, but it's actually the strongest, and that's the title
that's
of the
a
book.
title. Like, that's not like a joke. That's just like a title. There's a couple that are just. What was the one thing where it's like I was teleported to another world, but I also became black, and so now everyone hates me? Is like one of the titles. Like there's. that was like I remember
good.
we read
Just
like
transported to Alabama.
another world. Oh, that is another world
An
compared to
entirely
Japan,
different
right?
world.
But yeah, no, Wonder Egg Priorities.
Yeah, you're like a
fucking
white
amazing.
passing
psychological
person
horror.
in California, and you go to Alabama, and that's being teleported to another world, and now you're black.
That would be.
Well, I'm
I was
basically
teleported to
black.
Alabama as a black person, and now I'm being chased after by the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
You guys know,
A Crunchyroll original.
so in like I might have been like 68 when Grant was president, he suspended habeas corpus because the Klan was running wild in the South. And so like, fucking it was like a military mandated state, but the Confederacy couldn't do shit basically because they didn't have any money because their economy was ruined by the war. So Grant's federal troops just like busted up a ton of Klan meetings and a ton of people that were just hanging out, not part of the Klan. Klan activity really
The
fell
Klan
off.
didn't
Yeah,
exist.
see, habeas corpus
during
is dumb
the
as
Civil
shit.
War.
Why do we even have that?
It's bullshit.
The Klan
Yeah.
wasn't around during the Civil War. It was
It was post Civil War.
post-war.
Yeah.
Whenever he was,
Yeah.
it's whenever Grant was president.
Yeah,
Well, no,
he
but-
was president after the Civil War. Yeah, you
Yeah.
said 68.
That'd be
Probably-
funny.
No, it was probably like what 72 then.
Yeah.
Grant's actually a pretty accomplished
No
guy. He was
fucking
president,
clue.
and he also won the Civil War for
ended
us.
Dude.
in 64, right?
No, I think it was
65.
peace was declared 65.
What's the
Yeah.
racist dog whistle year? Is that
1488.
Oh, okay, that's
Good
That's
not-
not meant to be
that-
a year. That's 14
not a
words
year, yeah.
for like something about like protecting white children, and then 88 for Hail
Hail
Hitler.
Hitler.
Hail Hitler.
Oh.
Oh, HH, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's the H is the 8th letter of.
God,
That's the
That's
dumbest.
fucking-
It is stupid. Yeah.
That's what happens when you put like white nationalists in like creative positions.
That
is-
sounds
Uh,
like white nationalists were using dog whistles, learned that people started calling them dog whistles, and then from the idea of a dog whistle, reverse engineered a new one.
Yeah,
They ended
that's
up
like
on
they'll never
1488.
catch us on
Like,
this one.
This one is the
Yeah,
highest pitch.
back
Everybody
in
will
Nazi-
think it's a date.
Nazi
I-
Germany, they're saying 1488, and everyone's like, "What does that mean?"
I like the idea.
You guys won't get it.
You know those like videos where a teacher uses like a meme to try to teach kids like math or something?
Sure.
That's what that is, right? Where they're just like, we're cool, we can use dog whistles, 1488, and then it's like, oh no, you're not.
1488 sounds like it'd be like a clue in Twin Peaks.
Or
It's a- it's a
an
band
Andrew
class
novel.
barber.
It's a band
Yeah.
name.
I always thought that was like a year, like something happened where it's like, and this was the year
This
that
is
there
the
was
most
no black
racist
people
year.
alive.
Most racist year on
All time. 1488, Columbus sailed the ocean gate.
Super racist guy. Like I would give up vaccines, internet, the modern hygiene standards, everything, in order to live in 1488, where people were as racist as possible.
It'd be funny if it's like a forecast thing where it's like
There was
it's
one black guy, everyone else was white, and we all just hated that one black guy.
It's like
And that was life.
That was all we had to think about.
where people are like, tomorrow it's gonna be pretty racist outside with a small chance of anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
But
They're like a small chance of slight tolerance. It's like boo.
Damn it.
The
Terrible
racist
forecast.
man. It's like we're gonna pass it off to our weatherman. He's gonna pass it off to the racist forecaster man. It's like you might
Show
know.
forecast for the week.
You guys are all right. Don't go outside tomorrow.
The Super
Welcome
Bowl,
to
but
Channel
for being
1488.
racist. I don't know what that means, but like the Super Bowl for being racist
Super-
for every year.
The
A
racist
team
bowl.
of the most racist Americans in the nation.
How would they compete?
Just
Just
terrorism.
parameters here.
The referees are black and they chase them around.
They chase the referee.
Oh wait, you don't tell. You tell them they're gonna
They never
ref the
catch 'em.
Super Bowl, and then they come in, and then they're just like, "Just kidding, it's the racist bowl." Wait, the big
Damn
game.
it, they
sorry.
have this every year. How did I
How
not?
did I fall for such a trap?
Why I knew that this wasn't the big game.
The
By the way, I'm
NFL
gonna have
is
to
still
believe
losing
that's
control of it. They're like, you should stop doing the racist bull. They're like, it's a tradition.
I think
yeah.
they're the NFL like
And
board
the
are already
the
super
Redskins,
racist.
it's the same
Yeah.
team for
The
both.
racist, the
Yeah.
racist bowl is that they only have the football teams with the racist names still.
Yeah, so-
the racist bowl.
I'm tired of seeing Tom Brady win the racist bull every goddamn time.
That'd be funny if it's like the Puppy Bowl where it happens at the same time as the Super
Yeah.
Bowl. So it's like I don't want to see all these black football players win a game. I
Uh,
wanna see-
That's what I said.
Another ad break. I guess over to the racist bull.
I feel like the execs of the NFL will be like, "You fools! We already have a racist bowl. We have put fucking 11 black men against each other for all of our. You got it too on the nose. You're gonna ruin it for all of us."
It's like that South Park episode where Carmen's trying to become
Student.
a slave owner. He keeps going to like college basketball teams. He's like,
Yeah.
I see, student athletes. Very clever.
They're just he's like dressed up as like the guy from Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Oh, what have we here, sir? We got a student athlete.
These are nice. I'll give you 25 for the white ones and 50 for the black ones. And he's like, they're not for sale. It's like, oh, but you still don't pay them, right? And it's like, no, they're student athletes.
Oh.
Student athletes.
Oh god.
It is insane that like South Park can get away with whatever the fuck they want.
It's mostly
not
because they're
insane.
getting away with the fact where it's like, oh, this is just like some of this stuff
It's
is
pretty
just
accurate.
what happens in real
Yeah,
life.
no, for sure. But like,
I'm surprised
You
about
think they
how
shouldn't get
consistent
away
South
with it,
Park
or
either has like
what?
really good takes or fucking awful ones. Like
Well, the most
on global warming, that was the
Yeah.
worst one.
they also like
Man,
dialed that back. There was like
Yeah, they did.
but it's something where people are always like I hate people use South Park as like a philosophy.
I know, yeah.
Because
right.
all it really is Matt and Trey Parker being like, this is our opinion on stuff,
Right.
and we're funny guys, so we can write it kind of funny. But people are like, no, this is like a worldview, and it's
Yeah,
like, no, like,
Yeah.
don't let,
You're
they-
defining yourself by South Park.
I
yeah,
mean,
don't
yeah.
let them because
I think it's more symptomatic. Like people like blame South Park for like certain like political apathy around the time
Yeah.
it was really popular. But I think that's more symptomatic.
yeah. Well, I think it's literally just those guys have like a funny way of looking at things, and they express their worldview.
humor
'cause-
is gonna lean towards
yeah, dude,
apathy
these
in
guys
general.
like fucking. They're like the best social critics of the age. I think.
Yeah,
Like,
and
their
they're
satire is
They're
On
the
point.
modern
yeah, their ability to like
Socrates.
break stuff down, and also like make something in like a week. That's pretty impressive.
yeah, make
So-
fucking that. Can you imagine the burnout rate in their staff?
Oh yeah,
Like an
dude.
entire episode, like
But
writing.
not them.
Well, that's why they have like pretty long season breaks. Is because they're
Yeah.
just like, all right, we're gonna like basically have the 8 weeks of like going for it, where you guys are going to be working like every single.
I
8
could
hour
do that.
or like
I could
18
do
hour
that.
days.
I
You
could
do
be
that?
on that writing staff.
Hell yeah.
Easy. I'd be the best one there.
Like what if
Probably.
you
I
kinda,
could
like
not.
almost said the N word? That'd be pretty good.
That'd be pretty.
Wait, is this your
Well, you
suggestion?
gotta just throw shit on the wall, you know. That's how you get good
I'm
writing.
Gonna figure out fucking Michael Lorne's email and send that to him.
You mean
to
Lorne
try to get-
Michaels?
or Lorne Michaels, whoever's the SNL
Michael
guy.
Michael
Lawrence.
Lawrence. No, he's
Wherever
just
the
like a
SNL guy
dentist.
is. Who
Uh,
I'm gonna send that to him. Like, what if you guys almost said the N word on SNL, and then I'll get a writing job,
yeah, and
I'll
then
be sick.
That's what they really like.
and
now.
then you're gonna go onto the
That's
podcast.
what they're all for.
Yeah, then
now.
you're gonna go onto a podcast and actually say the N word, and people are gonna be like, he was such a good writer," and they canceled the shit out of him for
We
some
got-
reason.
You should just go on pretend to be Pete Davidson.
People got that'd be my job, I guess, because people say
Oh,
I
yeah.
look like
Yeah.
him.
Jackson kind of looks like Pete Davidson
Not
for
really
people that
though.
can't see him.
I do have as big of a dick as he does.
He has
though. That
darker
is true.
circles. He's even
Yeah,
skinnier.
Yeah,
he has
have a
more.
big dick.
Jackson
Pete
looks like a
Davidson-
fucking ghoul then. If he's got,
He's
Has
known
Pete
for having a
Davidson
massive
been
cock.
revealed?
I feel like nobody knows, but he just has the energy of like a slimy.
Well, no, they
Yeah.
they see it in his
okay,
pants.
he dated.
There's
He
been
almost
pictures.
married
He
Ariana
fucked
Grande.
the shit out of Ariana
yeah,
Grande.
do not
We
tell
don't
me he
know.
doesn't-
Nobody's.
Don't
And
tell
I
me.
also
Oh
fucked
yeah,
the shit
wasn't
out
that
of
a
Ariana
lyric in her
Grande.
song?
Uh,
Like you fucked pretty good or something? Was that one of her songs?
I don't think it's.
She had something about fucking or his dick in one of her
Okay,
songs.
it might
that
not
really
because it's not
should
"Thank You
dance.
Next" because I
not
because
that
they
one.
definitely
Jack
don't mention.
listens to all these songs religiously.
Yeah.
Well, I just know because
Whatever.
he had
Fuck you.
he had like a stand-up joke about how it was kind of funny, but it's also kind of fucked up that no one got mad at her for talking about his dick in a
Yeah.
song after a
Yeah.
breakup.
Let's see.
I don't see it at all.
I don't see it personally.
My
the
parents
eyes.
see
Let me
it.
see. Are we
Yeah.
showing her
Eyes,
anything?
dude. Like,
Well, no, they're saying that I look like Pete Davidson.
yeah, you
Which
see-
your
I can
parents
kinda
pointed
see it.
out to me first.
You have a
Jack.
similar chin. I think clean shaven,
Yeah.
you'd look a lot more like if you
Yeah.
cut your
I mean,
hair.
yeah,
Well, yeah,
that was back
obviously.
when I had
Yeah,
like
the-
short
You should
hair.
Now you
stop
don't.
sleeping so you get those same eyes.
I don't sleep very
Or
much.
just do heroin. I don't know.
Yeah.
what
I don't
it
think
is.
I think he just has like. I think he's
I think he's
like,
gay.
addicted to weed.
I think he's probably gay.
Yeah, that would make sense. Wouldn't that make you sleepy? Wouldn't that make you a sleepy boy?
Addicted
Well, I
to
think he
weed.
does have some medical condition, which is like why he has like the bags.
You guys know his dad died 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Don't joke about it. Only he can joke about it.
Why did his dad die in 9/11? What was he doing?
He was a
there?
firefighter.
No,
No, he was one of the guys who got dropped on the plane.
No, he was one of the guys. He was one of the guys who got dropped on the plane.
Yeah.
Dropped out of the blimp. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a callback. If you didn't listen to last
Could
episode.
you imagine you talk about if 9/11 was done by blimps? Is that what you were talking
No.
about?
No.
It was a little bit more complicated.
Jack, if you want to know, go back and listen to the episode. It's an idea for a movie called Back to the Future 4,
Thinking outside the blimp.
based on a true story, parentheses, 9/11.
And
Sounds really funny.
It's hilarious.
It's
yes.
pretty good. One of our better bits.
It was a word but yeah, no, I don't know if
Man,
I could
me
ever
and Pete
be.
Davidson, we have so much in common. I didn't realize.
It's
That's
true.
crazy.
You both fucked
Both of
Ariana
you-
Grande
both of
that
us
one
fucked
your
time.
Ariana.
name
They
has
have a
sun in
huge-
it.
Wow,
That's a commonality.
that's one I didn't even notice. That's
Okay,
crazy.
wow.
Both of our dads died in 9/11.
Yeah, that sucks.
That yeah.
You hate to see
His
it.
dad was reborn. This is not 9/11.
I wish that I had a third parent who did die in 9/11, so that I still got the same like parenting. But I also
Yeah.
could tell people that I had a parent who died.
I wish
in
having
9/11.
Just tell people that you like. There's so many people who like. Anytime you
So many
ask
people
them.
died in 9/11. I could just say it. happened.
No, there's so many people that I know who like are at some point or like they were like close or they're just like I was about to board a plane that was
Yeah,
going to go to
everybody
New
has
York.
that fucking
Yeah,
story.
everyone's like I almost was in 9/11.
have that one
I'll
chick-
just say if I was on those planes, wouldn't have gone down the same way.
There was one girl that we went to like fucking like a grade school with that said that she was there in New
Yeah,
York
she
in
was
9/11, but as like a baby, and I'm like, who the fuck cares?
And I
that you
remembered
were
it.
there
I
as a
remembered it, and I
baby?
put up a fist.
If you were there as a baby, you don't fucking know.
No, yeah, I don't remember shit from that. I remember it was so okay. So there was a bunch of things where like my cousins, I was sitting around and like talking to them during dinner, and we were
During
all
9/11 as
well-
a baby.
Well, they were talking about like 9/11 for some reason, and I was just joking. I was like, I remember when I was 2 years old, like someone came in and they were like, guys, the World Trade Center just got bombed, and I just started crying. I didn't know why. And it was during like preschool. I
think
remember my
there's
mom told me that,
literally-
and they were like, really? And I was like, and
You don't
they-
even know what the World Trade Center is, baby.
No, okay.
Man
but,
up.
they were like, really? Did that really happen? And then, like, it was at the point where I was... Because they were, like, talking very seriously about 9/11. For some reason, I thought that was an excuse to, like, joke at that point.
Yeah.
And so then I was just... Well, because they were talking about, like, their experience with 9/11. And, like, I was just like, yeah, that really happened. And they're like, wow. And I was like, oh,
You
God.
said that to them?
Yeah, I
Oh.
said that to them because I was like, I just...
I
as
don't
a
believe
baby-
in it.
Yeah, I don't
The
believe...
fucking hoax.
I like the idea of someone giving birth and then someone coming into that room after they're holding a baby, like, beautiful life. They're like, we have some news to tell you.
No, I want to go back to Phineas's idea of the three parents. What are those polyamorous relationships? What are they going to turn out when they adopt children or whatever, have children?
I mean, you just have, well, you have like 2 dads, you have 3
like
dads
a polyamorous
instead, yeah.
marriage.
Well, yeah, like
What's
when
next?
you're doing the adoption form, I imagine like they've defaulted to like 2 parents.
Oh yeah, so they
Like,
have to draw a little
Have
line.
they like made like modern allowances? Like if a third person's like, I'm also a parent.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
presumably, if it's all online, you could just have a field that
also
would
a
like
guardian.
auto-generate. Yeah, but if you had to do it in person, like signing it, you just have to draw a little line underneath, and it's
Yeah.
like, and this guy.
Or does like your fucking polycule just elect 2 representatives?
I feel like the idea of parentage when you have 3 parents would become way less important because you're like,
Yeah,
I kinda
You
like
would have
this
to
guy
try way
more.
less hard.
well,
Everyone
no,
could split
as
it
a
up.
parent, I guess, but also as a child, you're like, I like that guy more than you other 2 fucking
Well-
losers.
Well, it's
and-
also like that would probably lessen the impact of any individual parent on your life. It would just be like having like 3 really involved uncles at that point. Like it wouldn't be.
Isn't that what Godfathers are? I don't. Is
No,
that the same
Godfather
thing, or
is-
what?
Godfather's just a guy.
That's
Godfather
like if
doesn't mean anything.
It's like if
it's-
your parents die, they
They
take
take over,
over.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the
like
idea.
the next in line of
Do you
the
think that,
guardians?
like, if somebody asked me, I would just fucking be so uncomfortable. I would, like,
Yeah.
geez, then I have to make sure you never die. So I don't
You're
have to
like,
raise a
I
fucking
want to
kid.
be. I want to
You guys
be.
know who
I want
your
to be
godparents
God.
are?
I want to be a God Holy Spirit. Actually,
Do you
I
guys
don't
know
want to
who
be
your
a God
godparents
Father.
are?
Could I be a god uncle that just like pops in 3 times
Uh,
a year and like brings sweet gifts?
Can
I
I
have
be like
literally
a
no
higher
clue. I think-
spirit father? Because I don't really like prescribe
Pass me
to
another
the
beer.
whole
I
Christian
don't-
thing.
know
I don't
who my
think I
godfather is.
have a like specifically like godparent. I think it just defaults to like my grandparents or like
Yeah,
my cousins
my-
or
But
something.
I have
so-
a specific godfather that's not like an actual like related to us.
Sure.
that I
Okay, yeah.
know. But it doesn't matter anymore than now that I'm fucking 22.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. It's like if I have like
your parents die when they're
I
like
go-
when they're like 80 and you go to their doorstep, take
Like,
care of
please.
me.
and you're
I'm
like
40.
49 and it's just like
you're
this,
you're my godfather.
this other guy who's also like 90. It just like waddles over to his door and his caretaker. It's like, you gotta take care of me too.
Well, I'm sure that's happened where they're like 17. It's like technically
don't
you're
really
under
need me,
my
kid.
custody, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah, there's
you're
a
old
lot
enough
of
that it's weird.
no, there's a lot of shit in Nebraska I know because like 19's the age that you become an
Sure.
adult.
We
so
can't
like
sue
really?
people for fucking UTIs.
Well, yeah.
yeah,
I work at people that are listening. Fuck, I shouldn't give this information.
No,
Can
you
do
should.
something fucking
keep
like
doing it.
give fucking. I don't want to get canceled. For
Don't worry, I'll
anything I say.
bleep anything you don't want people
Well,
to
who
hear.
do you think listens to this?
Sometimes you do forget
hard
names,
left.
Jack. Sometimes you do forget to bleep names. I'll say that.
That's a little Easter egg.
And
though.
it makes me happy because it's kind of like just in the background, like me and Tej are having like a side conversation.
Oh yeah.
And I'll just name drop someone who does not consent to be on here.
I definitely.
And like not good context, like where they wouldn't, like I could guess they wouldn't want to be
Yeah.
mentioned.
I am definitely always editing these while doing something else, so there's always the chance. Because like whenever it's very
Go back
obvious.
and listen and see what you can find out.
Yeah, exactly. Just go
See if you
through.
can find our
scrub
personal
through.
lives.
Yeah, if you can find any names, email those names to us at the brownbrickspodcast@gmail.com.
Email us those names and their addresses.
And also send an email to those guys and say, "Oh, if I found you. I know what you've done."
Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
that'd be
All right,
awesome.
so
Shane.
the nicest guy who
Why,
can fucking get
Shane?
there.
Yeah.
How funny would it be to just fucking ruin his life?
Yeah.
That'd be less
He
funny.
just
than I
doesn't
assumed
know
you
that
think
we
it
did it though.
No, you tell him and he just goes, okay, okay.
Yeah, I wonder who Shane's god.
It's just
Shane's
slightly
godparents
annoyed.
are already
would.
dead.
Slightly annoyed as you like.
Like, I don't
ruin-
know why you did that.
Your Shane
Ruin
impression
all
is so bad. You just give him the worst voice.
Okay.
It's you can see what I'm going for.
I do see the resemblance.
This might seem like a little fucked up, but like every time I hear somebody's like polyamorous, like it's the same. Like, well, you can love more than one person. I'm like, that's the same.
I just think you're a
Excuse.
cheater.
Right? Like, it's the
Yeah.
same. Like every 40-year-old dude who falls in love with his like 30-year-old coworker and like fucks her. It's like, well, I'm in love with 2 women now. Like, what's the
Yeah. Well, I think it's more just like whenever I see that, I always see somebody who was really, really into the idea of a polyamorous relationship, and somebody who was just like, I guess this is what we're doing.
yeah,
It's
exactly. that.
like I guess there's a lot of relationships that start like that where both people are like, I will be fucking other people. and those are the like most healthy ones. But the ones
But
that
then
are
one
like
of those two people starts introducing the people they're fucking.
Yeah. You're like, "Ooh, can we have a
I guess
threesome?"
we're in a poly thing now. Where not only are you fucking other people, I have to know them.
it's
I
one
have
of
to
those
be
things
friends
where like
with them.
with the polyamorous relationship, it's always the ones that are normal relation or like I guess like relationships where it's just a guy and like they're or a woman, you know, whatever. Just
Or a
two
woman.
people.
Or
It's just
a
two
man.
people.
3 guys.
It's
I
just,
don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah,
It's just
or
two
people that don't describe to either gender.
It's just two. It's just two entities.
It's two entities.
That'd be fine.
Like
Polycule?
Guinness World Record. Yeah, that's
Is
like that's
There's
what
a
you
whole
call-
village.
That's what you call like the fucking like
Yeah,
social
What an
network.
awful,
like a
what an
molecule.
awful. Yeah, no, I get it. Where, but I guess, well, because I can you double?
Yeah, I made
how do
a-
you
I made
double
a
bond? How do you
polycule.
double bond as a polycule? Like, what does a double
I mean,
I don't
bonding
know what that
atom look
question
like?
means.
Yeah, because you only double bond to one person.
What the
Is
fuck
that
is
like?
a 4-way polyamorous relationship look like?
It looks like a fucking sitcom.
That's just an orgy.
That's-
you just had a continuous orgy with your friends going on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
No,
not fucking polyamorous.
I still think it's
relationship.
just like, but whenever you have a relationship with two entities that eventually turns into like a polyamorous relationship, it's always like, okay, one of these people wanted to fuck another person, but they also didn't want to like give up that person, and the other person just likes him enough to be like, sure, that's fine, I guess. Like, that's always how it feels.
I
I'm
mean-
sure that's what happens most of the time. I bet there's people who are just fucking weird though.
Dude, I mean,
who
oh,
are
Have
legitimately
you seen
okay
the
with
one?
it.
Okay, there's one I know of that's like some British relationship where it's just like one woman, I think, and like 5 guys, and they just all fuck her, and they have a baby that they raise together.
Do they know which one's the father?
I don't know.
God
Maybe.
damn.
They're all the
That's
fathers.
a show, right?
No, I don't think it's a
It
TV
should
show.
be.
I think it's
What's
just
the-
I
What's
thought
the
that
one
was a
cheaper
show
by
where-
the?
Oh,
cheap-
there
that's
is a
cheap-
show about
Well,
like
like-
Mormons where it's like one guy and a bunch of wives. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
No,
Sister
it's
Wives.
a show where
TLC.
like
Yeah.
4 dudes raise a child because like,
That's
two and a
not-
half-
two
two
men
and a half
and a baby.
men.
Yeah.
That's a no. That's a,
Same thing.
No,
What's
that's
that one
Kindergarten
fucking
Cop.
show?
That's true love. That's Conan.
Where's the show where it's like 3 brothers and they're all raising a daughter after a guy's wife dies?
Dude,
like,
that's
one of them
3 men and a
lives in
baby.
No,
Full
that's
House.
Full House. Yeah, yeah.
Full House. Yeah,
Who
it's
the
Full
fuck
House.
was making these shows?
No, no,
Who
this
thought
is-
this was what the American
Oh,
public
you're
wanted
just
to watch?
making a
I'm
Full
not
House.
thinking
Full House is not.
Okay, you
no,
know what is
this
really
is
funny
like
though with Full House? Like it's so funny to be people are just like they always these sitcoms always showed the stereotypical idea of like a modern family, and they show like a picture of Full House because that's like the generic one. It's like wait, no, that's about like
And they have,
3
like,
guys,
6 kids.
Yeah,
and, like,
3 guys taking care of like a baby, and that's like the point of the show. It's like that is definitely not the average
well,
lifestyle
no, you get
for a kid.
what is it? Fucking Full House, and then like the Family. What the fuck is that one called? Or like the,
Modern
like, the
Family.
theme song.
Modern Family.
Fuck. Okay, well, there's
George
All in the
Lopez.
Family.
No,
All
God damn it!
my
Like the old like
friends.
60s one where they have
Oh,
The
Brady
Jeffersons.
Bunch?
the Brady Bunch. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
shit like
yeah.
that where there's like
The
a
white
mom and a
Jeffersons.
dad, and they've got like 6 fucking kids, and you're like, that's not a modern family. That's
Yeah.
a fucking Catholic family.
Yeah.
That is.
I'll tell you what a polyamorous relationship looks like.
Yeah, you know, you've been in
They
one.
come in after New Year's. One dude has herpes lesions all over his hand.
on his hand.
One woman
It's spread.
sits on one side of the room. 4 dudes. 3 that probably have herpes lesions somewhere. One with it just glaringly on his hand. Sit on opposite side of the waiting room and just fucking stare daggers at each other. And we all check them in individually, and they have to stand awkwardly and share information about their race and ethnicity.
Oh,
and
my
like,
God.
That
That's
sounds
awesome.
awful.
Oh yeah,
That sounds
hilarious.
legitimately horrible. Well, it
Happened
sounds funny for you.
4 days after New Year's, so I was like,
Is
I
that-
know what fucking
Is that
happened.
polyamorous, or did they just all gangbang this chick?
I don't know, but as it happened, they were all like, "We're not fucking anybody but us 5, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're just fucking. We're all fucking the same chick." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm just fucking you 5 dudes, 4 dudes." And someone slipped up.
5 dudes. I go, wait a minute. 5 dudes.
and then a guy's like hiding under one of the chairs. He's like, "You got me."
He's got herpes all over his face. I'm hiding.
They turn their heads. They look to Jack behind the counter. They're like, "You?" He's like, "What can I say?"
That's when the fucking like theme music rolls in,
Yeah.
and that's
No.
our new sitcom.
No, when they look to Jack, they all like turn to
No,
you.
the logo for that sitcom is Planned Parenthood, but then like it spray paints "un" in front of it.
No, there's the
Yeah.
fucking the way that it does is like everyone's like, wait, 5, and then they turn to Jack, and there's like a cartoon, like no, it's like a cartoon outline, and then like a smoke trail because you ran away, and they're like, you
That bastard.
and it's like it like blinks on like the cartoon like dotted outline. It's like, where'd he go?
And then they're locked in the Planned Parenthood.
Forever.
And there's
it's
a death
horror
game.
movie.
Yeah, it's a death
It's a
game.
horror movie where they all have to work together to give that one woman an untrained abortion, or else they'll be killed.
What's the one
Or
like
else, what do you mean?
yeah,
It's like
an
a
abortion.
Saw movie, like a fucking Saw guy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Saw, where
Do
they're.
you
want
think
to-
or it'll be killed? Like,
Oh,
if you
no.
don't abort this baby, it's gonna die.
That's a good horror movie. Yeah.
yeah, that'd be funny. It's like a Catholic person. It's like I have to. That's the train track question.
It's like
they call in the fucking exorcist.
The
Do you
people
want to
who-
go to hell?
The one the Vatican has one abortionist on staff.
No, here's
no,
what
The
it is.
situation's just like this.
It's the people who made God's Not Dead, and it's like a horror movie. They're like, you have to abort this baby, or we'll kill it when it's born. And the woman's like, you know what? I've had a lot of thinking to do today, but given that I'm a good Christian, I'm gonna give birth to this baby,
No.
even if you promise to kill it painfully immediately.
No,
And
okay,
then
no,
she
what's
does, and they kill it painfully.
no, they're about
she
to
gets
kill
to
it
go to
She's like,
heaven.
carefully.
at least I'm right in the eyes of God.
And the baby goes to
No.
hell because it wasn't baptized.
No.
Babies actually don't have
No,
much
actually,
Aborted
what happened-
babies are because God needs angels or some shit.
Which seems like the shittiest thing you could do.
Well,
Instead of just make more
Well,
angels.
the
with your
Catholic
God
Church,
powers.
the Catholic Church did retcon that you would go to hell as a baby if you weren't
Now
baptized.
you go to fucking.
No, actually, no. The problem was that they retconned it where they're just like, okay,
I think
actually,
you just go back and
Okay.
like, we found some new shit Jesus said.
okay. So here's the crazy thing. So
We
Catholic
found
Church
Bible too.
initially unbaptized
The
babies,
Dead
like,
Sea Scrolls,
or especially
that's
all like unborn babies.
people that have never heard of Jesus.
Well, yeah, they'd go to purgatory. But then
Yeah.
one of the popes came out and he's like, guys,
That's a
no,
little,
no
little fucking
purgatory.
weird.
Actually, no purgatory. You just go to heaven or you go to hell. Sorry. And then it's like, wait a minute, hold on. What happens to all the babies? And then you just see the Pope like drag and drop like a folder that says unbaptized babies into the recycle bin, and then press like empty
trash.
trash, and it's like, no, Pope, you killed my unborn
Have
baby.
you guys heard about purgatory though? Like it usually has a negative connotation, but purgatory in the
alright.
Bible is pretty fucking sick.
You
It's
just
like
chill.
rather
Well,
than
it
like
sounds
rather
like-
than like
Well, there's no-
divine transcendence, you just get all earthly pleasures forever for eternity.
Wait,
That's
They don't mention
or
purgatory
maybe
in the
that's not in
Bible.
Bible.
Well,
That's
what
in some.
What it
fucking,
sounds like to me is like,
religious
you know,
text.
Yeah.
there's like the fields of like Hades that is just you're just wandering around in a field. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not.
well,
good.
have you guys
No, but that's what people
Yeah.
think of about purgatory. There's like one description of purgatory, like it was maybe one of those books that like is not technically like canon to Christianity,
One
but
of the
everyone takes shit
allegories.
from it.
Yeah.
Like what is it, like something about
Divine
heathen.
comedy, fucking stuff like that.
Yeah, shit like that, and
Yeah.
it's Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, Dante's Inferno.
But like purgatory is literally just like people you get if you were a good person but not a Christian, you get all the fucking money, all the fucking food you want, all the booze, all
I'm
the
okay with
bitches, and you just get that for eternity. But
I'm
you don't get
getting
to go
that.
to heaven.
And
No.
then people were just
That-
like, well, I don't know.
I
about
would
that.
work
Purgatory
that
was
more
fucking,
than heaven,
No,
for
Purgatory
sure.
and Dante's like the Divine Comedy, so like Dante's Inferno,
The
Purgatorio, and then
Divine
Paradiso,
Comedy.
was just like a mountain. And then there's different points on the mountain where it'd just be like, well, this person, they sinned because they would like look at other people lustfully, so we just sewed their eyes shut, and they've got to be like this for 100 years.
Like,
Or, like this
that
person
matches the crime.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
only
it's just-
100 years.
Well, no, there's a bunch of shit where it's like, all right, this is like it's always when you go up the mountain, you have to like start at the bottom, and then you have to ascend, and just like once you're done with that, you get to go to heaven because you had burned off
I
all your
wanna
sins.
be
Where
the
is this
guy-
mounted?
It's
Greece,
Mount
I think?
Olympus.
Oh, cool.
I want to be the guy in Greek mythology that just has to push a boulder up the hill. That sounds
Sisyphus?
tight,
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, man. I used to think about Sisyphus as like the ultimate torment, but I think we
That's
also.
awesome, dude.
No, I think it has
I
like
just
a
have
lot
a
of-
purpose constantly.
Yeah, but after I became a
Pushing
simp for him and got a
fucking
tattoo on
boulder.
my back, I was
It's
just like, he's
Atlas.
pretty cool.
Sis is a different dude, man. Different bowler.
different. That's not a
Different
boulder.
bul-
That's
one
the
of them
fucking
fell-
planet.
Yeah.
No, okay, but what was I gonna say? The
I'm a
Sisyphus
simp for Atlas.
the Sisyphus myth is like weird and kind of interesting because the entire point of it is like there was he was like supposed to die because he kept killing his guests, and so they were like, hey, like Grim Reaper, here's a bunch of chains, go like kill Sisyphus and bring him down to hell. But Sisyphus is like a really smart guy, so he saw like the chains and he's like, whoa, there's some pretty cool chains, Grim Reaper. And then he chained him up and like threw him in a fucking like chest, and then no one would die for like 3 days. And then Hades is like, wait, didn't we send that Grim Reaper guy to like the other guy? And they're like, oh shit. And Sisyphus is just like, okay, wife. Oh yeah, Thanatos. That was Thanatos who he like chained up, and he's like, okay, wife, don't bury me at all. Just throw me out in the street and like piss on me or something. And then like the moment he says that, fucking Hades comes in, like frees Thanatos, and they both like drag him down to hell. And then he's like, Persephone, it's awful. My wife didn't even give me the proper burial stuff. And like, so can I go back to like and just like get all my funeral stuff in order? And she's like, that sounds terrible. Oh my god, you can totally go back. And so he does. And then he's like, not going back. And then he's just like, cool, we're good.
This dude is just he's like the dude from fucking Uncut Gems.
No, but then he's like, then after that, fucking Thanatos is just like, they're like, Thanatos, go back and get him. And he's like, no, we're fucking good. I'm not doing that.
Fuck that dude.
No, but then he dies of old age, and then he comes back down to Hades, or he comes back down to...
It's Hades.
Yeah,
Hades is called Hades.
Yeah, it's the fucking planet Vegeta, but it's just, you get, like, he goes back down to Hades, and then, like, Persephone, Hades, and Thanatos are like, fuck this guy. So that's why
you're fucking...
He's like, sorry, dude.
Bitch.
Sorry I fucking got over on you. You probably died with, like, $8 million in debt. Just undefaulted
I like
loans.
how he's meant to be, like, a smart guy, but he's like, I'll piss off the god of death. The guy who will be in charge of me forever when I eventually die.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of like myths
His
like that.
His portrayal in the Hades game is funny to me, because he just seems like he's doing
like a
all
super
right.
nice dude, yeah.
He's just like chilling, just pushing a boulder occasionally.
Yeah.
Just like...
Sometimes he just chills.
Yeah. He just sits there at the bottom of the hill, just like...
I'm getting to it,
I'm not gonna push this
I got
boulder.
it up already today.
Yeah.
I beat it.
No. Is there a thing in Greek mythology that they did before Hades like got out of the fucking Titan's stomach? Because the Titan kept eating his children, and then they all got out.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Zeus
that was
killed fucking...
Yeah, but like,
Kronos.
what did people do when people died before they set all that up?
Well,
there weren't
humans.
people.
There weren't
There
there
weren't
humans.
weren't
people,
humans
yeah.
before then? I see.
Yeah.
I love how much incest is in all of these.
I really
Well,
like how
I
much
mean, like,
incest in all
like
this.
you look
I'm a
at like
big
Aphrodite,
fan.
who has 1 million lovers, and like everybody's related to Zeus in some way because he just
Yeah.
kept like raping everyone.
Dude,
seriously.
That was, dude. Like, I do like how there's certain like people are like, dude, Persephone and Hades, for all intents and purposes, is like the most
Stockholm
functional.
syndrome.
Well, no, like the most functional like
Yeah.
Greek relationship because after, I mean, you would just
This is
kidnap.
raper, yeah.
Yeah, well, because people when they translate stories, the view for like kidnap and the like the like word for or the word and the symbol for kidnap and the word and symbol for like
Elope.
marriage.
Yeah.
It's
Same
the same
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
So
dude,
people
same.
were like, well, I guess they just kidnapped a bunch, and so fucking Hades only ever like he stays like committed to Persephone, but then you get to like Zeus, and Zeus is supposed to be like, oh yeah, that's like
Hera.
cool.
People had to
Yeah.
start turning other fucking people into things he couldn't rape.
Well,
We'll make you
well,
a
no,
tree. He can't
that-
rape a tree.
No, he turned to like the fucking the one
Rape
time
a
where he
tree.
like raped
It's just like,
someone.
I'll fucking show you.
The one time where like he raped someone and then there's like a fucking he turns them into like a cow so they won't tell Hera who's
And
coming
he's like,
down, and then
Guess
Hera
who's
like
a bull now, baby?
Hera like obviously knows that
Yeah.
like he raped the cow before because the cow's really pissed off and he's like, oh my god, I want that cow, that's pretty
It's
cool.
fucked up. That's the first thing she thinks when she's like an
Yeah,
angry
you
cow.
fucked that cow.
He was like, "Oh god damn it, Zeus."
Well, clearly,
Zeus
like
and Hera is like fucking Walter White
The-
and his
it's-
wife
yeah.
in Breaking Bad.
The classic dysfunctional
where she just knows
marriage.
he's doing all this shit and she's like...
except for meth, it's rape.
You know what I like about Greek myths is that none of them try and teach you a good lesson. They're
Yeah.
all just fucked up
Most
shit.
of the time, they teach a lesson in the context of like, don't piss off this god in this way.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
it's not like do a good thing for
Yeah.
somebody else or like don't make fun of poor people. It's like this god did this weird fucked up thing. Don't make him mad. He'll do that to you.
That's
So
so.
I feel like the Zeus shit is probably like an extension of like he's kind of like the king of the gods,
Yeah.
right? So like if you want to criticize kings in general, you're gonna like if you're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is a thing Zeus totally did, but really you're just being like, fuck kings, guys.
Well, that was in the Divine Comedy when like Dante's Inferno, he gets down to a certain point. There's all these like really blatant like political commentary things
Yeah.
where a guy will like stop him in the middle of hell and he's like, actually, you know who's way worse than I am? This guy who's currently alive right now. He's gonna be way down the line. He's gonna
Yeah,
be
that guy-
in the worst part of hell
He's
because
going to
he's
the-
such a horrible guy.
he's going to the
And
20th
Dante's like,
circle.
oh, that's really interesting.
Oh, I had
that's
no
really
idea. I've
cool.
never heard of
Oh,
that
what'd
guy.
that guy do? Oh, he's a tax collector? That's cool. That's
Yeah.
he's
Weird.
going way down there.
Well, the entirety of the myth of Atlantis started as like a cautionary tale about overindulgence, and then people were like, "Wait,
dude
there's
that
this
used to-
place called Atlantis that has a bunch of treasure. We gotta find it." He's like, "No, it was a metaphor for about how if you overindulge and are excessive, you'll drown, right? That's bad things happen to them." They're like, "We gotta find it."
This is a real
That's-
place.
Fucking, I don't know. But that was also because he was like trying to, the guy who wrote it was trying to like bend over backwards to be like, actually, this other guy heard about it from this other source and he told me about it. So it's actually all real.
They
guys.
do try and kind of be like,
They
this was a
try to,
real
like, canonize
thing.
it.
Well, because people back then,
They don't believe
They were dumb
anything.
as
They
shit.
unless
wouldn't
it's-
listen to
yeah.
stories if you're like, "Guys, this didn't really happen." They're like, "What do you mean?"
yeah, like,
give a fuck,
anything
yeah.
they hear is like, this has to be real.
Because there's so many
Yeah.
fucking great. Like, if you believe that gods are real, why would you listen to a story
That
that's
wasn't
fiction?
real.
yeah.
You're like, yo, man,
Yeah,
crazy as shit
yeah.
happened.
If you think that Zeus is actually out there raping people, why would you give a shit about like
a fictional
fake story about Zeus raping
Exactly.
some other sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
animal?
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, no, because obviously I feel like, I mean, did people even question when they're like, all right, this like parable's being written down by just some guy?
Yeah,
like,
this
how
guy
did he
just
get this?
wrote
info?
this and
Yeah.
like spread it around, and everyone's like, that probably happened.
Yeah, it's like that's probably real.
I read this really interesting thing that was the reason that like the Gospels of Jesus caught on so well was because for the first time people had like a biblical figure that was like better than them. They're like it was something they could ascribe to and like someone that you could never cast blame on. And they're like, well, fuck yeah, I want to follow this guy. He's not going around raping people.
Yeah. It's like
That
I
is-
can believe in the guy who is literally trying to help all.
Yeah,
people,
right? Like, he
all
loves me
good all
unconditionally?
around.
Yeah,
Or I
it's
can worship the guy who will kill me if I don't
Were there
sacrifice
people
a
back
goat.
then who, like, in Greek society who are like, didn't believe these stories, but just kind of like liked them?
Yeah, we gotta
Well,
like
yeah,
over.
okay, here's also
Because
thing
we're like
where-
assuming all of these
Yeah.
like ancient people are just fucking morons.
No, but
accepted
from
anything.
the perspective of a person who doesn't really understand like
Like,
natural weather
yeah.
phenomena,
I get
like
believing that that's a god.
You see
but
fucking
do you
lightning in the air, you're like, God did that.
Sure,
Yep.
sure.
That to me is
That's
like the
something else. But like the
stories.
stories.
oh, the
Are you
stories.
like-
Well, there's probably in the sense of like the stories probably got passed down to the point where they became like myth and like legend, where it's
Sure.
like that probably happened. But initially, on their first telling, it was probably like a guy saying like, "Here's a parable.
Here's something cool."
Here's a parable. Don't get raped by Zeus, I guess." Like, and then it's like, cool.
Yeah, Homer had to build up his
Who the
street
fuck
cred
had time to
before
Yeah.
write
people believed
anything
him.
back then?
Fucking Homer. What else is he gonna do? He's fucking
He
blind.
jerked off to like women in public.
He doesn't know what they look like.
Although, to be
Yeah.
honest, probably all you would have to do back then to convince them that your story was real was like go to like another fucking city, bring a guy with you on your travels, and be like, "This guy can vouch for me," and
Yeah.
then they're all like, "I guess it's true."
That guy did
Well,
vouch
also,
for him.
you could
Look, he's
probably
a farmer. He saw it all happen.
no, I mean, all you had to do to say like, all right, here's the real story is like make a story, and then most people would just be like, well, he knows how to like write and also
Yeah.
sing these
That is
sing
He's
these
a learned
tales.
man. He cannot lie.
True.
Yeah,
that's
so he
the thing.
can't
a
lie.
man of learning.
They're a higher status, where
Yeah.
you'd be like, "No, bitch."
Yeah.
Or
When-
you
Nah, yeah.
When you're like a poor farmer, you're just
you're
gonna
not
be like,
gonna get it.
actually, I don't believe
Actually,
that.
I have plenty of time to write all of this
Yeah.
shit down that I came up with.
Yeah.
Or you bring
Like
a fucking
how-
cyclops skull
Dude,
or a
how-
fucking mammoth skull, and you're like, you see this giant fucking thing that has one eye?
Yeah.
Cyclops skeleton.
Well, I mean, just
what mammoth
like-
has one eye?
I mean,
Well,
it's like
they
a
have the
great-
hole in this.
yeah, it was
skull,
where their
yeah.
horn. It was like a
Okay.
fucking indigenous mammoth to Greece that had a giant fucking like,
That's cool.
horn
But-
or a tusk, and like people think that's that alongside like the fact that there were like blacksmithing was a big
That
thing.
makes sense.
So like people like Cyclopses, they're fucking Poseidon's blacksmiths because like blacksmiths were like giant and burly and wore a fucking eye patch, so like they look like they had one eye. I guess I don't fucking know. I wasn't there.
I've only
I'm glad
heard
you know
about
so
it.
much about this thing
I-
you don't know about.
That's a
I
good
like-
way
I know
to-
the stories.
I like myths that have sort of like a modern like explanation for it. Like
Yeah,
I remember
Percy
Yeah,
Jackson.
watching like some video that talked about like the barn owl makes like a fucking high pitched scream that sounds like a banshee.
Really,
And that's like
so
how that whole like thing in
people were like,
Ireland
"There's a
came-
fucking
yeah.
spirit." in that
That's what I
place.
love about. There's a bunch of like the Wild Hunt is also a permutation of
Yeah.
just a story that's like, oh, did you guys
That's a
know they're
real
like
Polish myth.
like that's a real Polish myth, but also in like every other culture, there's a myth about like a ghost tornado that exists, and it's like, ooh, there's a ghost tornado that would come outside, and if you went outside during
Fucking
that, you.
swept up, found
Yeah.
dead a mile away.
But like, it's basically just the fact where it's like, oh, I used to hear like when it was windy, there would be a bunch of these weird noises coming from outside, and like you probably don't want to go outside during like a heavy storm.
and the one dude that did found him a mile away, dead.
yeah, because he fucking died.
The hunt got him.
Yeah, and so
The
it's just
wild
like,
hunt.
oh yeah, no, that makes sense. And there's like an obvious. That's why
God,
like so
the
many
wild hunt's
cultures
so
have their
cool.
own like very different like. Oh, there's a ghost tornado outside. It's like that's such a weirdly specific
Yeah,
thing that it's like,
Literally
oh,
made of skeleton men
yeah.
that want to kill you and steal your bones.
Really?
What would it be like?
No.
What would it be like to
Oh.
like be the people who
No.
like making up these
Oh, you
You
stories
believe
about
me,
like
fool.
ghosts and gods and spirits and all this shit, and they just know it. Like everyone starts believing and be like, "Do you hear what Zeus did?" And you're the guy who made it up. You're like, "What have I done?"
You're
like,
like,
Has
oh,
every
shit.
other story I've heard also been false?
No, I also feel like because there's a bunch of stories that are like the Odyssey and like the Iliad were definitely made up as well because they
Yeah,
were
they're
commissioned.
written as
They were
like a
commissioned
book,
by
yeah.
like four kings to be like, ooh, here's a tale.
Well,
They
they
say,
weren't.
we don't really know,
Well, they
fucking-
weren't written. They were oral.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
people like did homework. Fucking, how much of this did he come up with, or how much of it he just like wrote it down? Like, is he famous for just like writing something down that someone
Yeah.
else?
Well,
said?
you can always tell like which ones are probably commissioned and which ones are probably like just a guy being like fuck the establishment when they're just like, and also this place that they're gonna found in like 8 generations, which just happens to be the king that's living right now. The guy's gonna have the biggest stick out of any out of any king that ever existed, and he's also the coolest guy and the strongest man who's ever lived.
What the fuck
By the
was-
way,
what the
FYI,
fuck was Oedipus about? Was that about
Oedipus was just about how
The guy
like
who
don't
fucks his mom?
yeah,
Yeah, the
don't
guy
fuck
fucks
your
his
mom is like
Nah,
the
I mean,
entire
I think
point
it was,
of that.
I think it was more than that. I think it was about like
kings
Prophecies.
fuck their moms
Yeah,
a
I think
lot?
it-
And just like
No,
you
I-
can't defy.
Well,
prophecy.
no, there's a
I think
lot
it's
of-
about like the
You can't-
No, there's
Beat
a
your
large
fate.
part of those. yeah.
unavoidable nature
Yeah.
of like
Yeah, like,
prophecy, and
But
like,
there's a
your
large
path.
part of those myths that were also like trying to tell people it's like wash your hands,
Yeah,
don't fuck your
yeah,
mom,
yeah.
don't cut off your dick.
Don't
it's like little things
Put
like that.
knives
put knives
in your eyes. Don't do that.
Or do that if you fucked your mom.
If you want to fuck your mom in the future and think that... I mean, I bet Oedipus really liked fucking his mom.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, fucking.
He had to enjoy it.
Why else would he have done it? Yeah.
Yeah.
We couldn't see her.
He didn't know. He did know the entire time.
Yeah, he was
He just
like...
had to act
I
surprised.
fucked my mom!
Oh, my
Yeah.
mom! Everybody else knew. He was like, oh,
And people are looking at him. He's like, that seems like an underreaction. He's like, stab up the eyes.
My eyes were gone. I couldn't tell it was my mom.
Oh,
What's the myth about like founding Rome, where like some lady's
Oh,
like, when you
for-
eat your tables, that's when you'll have found it, and then they
What?
get there and they eat like circular bread. They're like, look, guys,
Yeah.
we're eating tables.
It was
Is it?
that, or it was
Is
like
it?
they were
That's
eating.
the Odyssey.
They were eating the. I think it's the Iliad.
Yeah, Elliot.
Uh,
Yeah.
Or like
Which I love the idea that they're like, look, we've looked at so many places, we haven't eaten tables yet. Let's just make some circular bread, eat that, and then we can say we're done.
Well, that's not the founding Rome myth?
That's
Yeah,
part
the
of it.
Iliad
Because
is-
the idea is that
That's
that
Romulus.
becomes pizza.
There's
Yeah.
Remus.
Remus is about founding Rome, like the
Yeah.
Trojan guy, right? Goes to
It's
Italy,
Romulus
does-
and Remus.
Well,
that
look,
are
all these
founding
myths
Rome.
are funny
Yeah.
and don't make sense.
No,
and
they-
who cares?
They were raised
No
by
one was
wolves.
trying to like canonize this, where they're like, well, it also like they're trying to
They were
canonize.
not afraid of contradiction.
Yeah.
Well, aren't those Greek myths? Those predate the Roman, I guess, one.
Another thing that's all.
Well,
about
no, there's a bunch of shit where it's like, oh, but also Rome was even cooler back then, and
Yeah.
just happened to be like they're like Greece is like because Rome was trying to embody a
didn't-
lot of like.
Rome didn't write any cool fucking myths about
They
this
just
fucking
fucking-
stole a
borrowed
bunch
it.
of Greek
Yeah, they
shit.
stole them.
Well, because they were like, all right, the Greeks,
I feel like
that
they
was a
would've had-
really big, cool empire. We can establish this, and people will like it's oral tradition that's passed down in the sense that it's like these people know what the
These
fuck
gods
like
are way fucking
Zeus
cooler
is,
than
so,
ours.
Yeah, and Rome expanded so much that like oral tradition is just not going to work as realistic.
I feel like they would have had a good precedent to actually write some good shit, though. Like,
Well, yeah, but like the whole oral tradition thing is just not going to work when the Roman Empire is as big as the Roman.
sure,
fucking
yeah,
Empire.
you have to write it down
Yeah.
and like spread it
Dude,
out.
you know how insane it is that it's an empire that had 2 fucking capitals? They had capital in Rome and in Constantinople.
Well,
near
that's-
the end.
We
That's
should just
later,
call another
yeah.
one of our cities a capital so that we can be in.
I think
the
our
same
second
capital.
What
capital.
would the second capital be?
New
should
York.
definitely-
Omaha, Nebraska.
No, it would not be New York.
It
I would
should
think
be
it would
Omaha.
either Seattle.
I
No.
think Seattle
Wait,
is-
why do you say not New
Atlanta
York
could
and why do
be-
you say Seattle? Like,
I've
Because
heard
it's
Washington,
also
Washington,
it's
DC
also in
is-
Washington.
If you put it on
Yeah.
both ends of the.
If we're gonna go West Coast, we go
States.
Los Angeles.
L.A.
I mean,
why
I
does it
see
have to
what
be a-
you're
it should
saying.
be-
Hawaii.
No.
But New York is a way more
Just
fitting
all
capital.
of Hawaii
Yeah.
is a capital.
Well, a second
No, yeah.
capital
Well, it's-
though would not be wouldn't want to
There'd be
be
no
in the
point,
same
yeah.
area. Well, yeah, there would
I
be
get
no
that.
point.
Yes.
But if we're dividing into two different American empires, you know.
Yeah, like where would
Oh,
Congress meet? Like what?
Yeah.
Do they have like two separate Congress?
Well, you wouldn't want your capital to be in
We
the
go all
same
digital.
like
Zoom
massive
Congress.
city.
Zoom New
Every
capital.
city's a capital.
New capital with second president, second Congress, second Senate,
We just
second.
have-
I think
Dude,
you're
so-
talking about
And what
sedition.
we do is we have
Second-
different
This is
capitals that
revolution.
each send a leader, like or like a what would I don't know what you a tribute like somebody
a sacrifice.
Yes.
basically into a ring, and then we'd have like a huge in Kansas. There'd be like a big like
why
it'd be Hunger
Kansas
Games.
in particular?
Because it's flat and you can manipulate the
Yeah.
land however you want. It's in the center of the
Wait, you can
United
manipulate the land however
We
you
have
want.
a second
Like
Senate,
like the
uh,
Senate.
States. No one
parliamentarian.
fucking cares about Kansas. So
Have you
like,
guys
Yeah.
considered
Kansas is
declaring
filled with
this house
earthbenders.
a sovereign nation?
Oh,
That'd be
shit,
interesting.
Dude, you're talking about secession.
Yeah, that's what I'm
People
saying.
go to war for
Texas.
this.
We're doing
Texas.
Imagine
Texas.
First off, I've
Texas.
been thinking about this a lot. I love
Texas
how
doesn't want to
11
secede.
months out of the year, Texas is like, fuck the federal government. We
That's
don't
not
need
all
shit.
of them. You know that 48% of Texas is Democrat.
Yeah, which is insane. I heard Trump.
Not insane.
Well,
That's
you
like
got,
most states.
Houston.
Most
like, right?
states are not like.
Well,
When
no,
you go
most cities
Houston
are
for
highly
Austin.
Democrat.
Yeah.
Most
Houston's
other
bigger,
places
right?
other
Yeah,
than the
but
cities
Austin
are
Also, you
not.
have, like,
But if you're talking about
Texas are
states,
going
it's
to-
pretty
All right,
almost even.
wait,
across
we-
the board.
Aside,
Too many
Which
conversations.
does
Cease.
create more-
Moratorium! A minute of silence.
We gotta coalesce into one conversation. Because there's too
My
many.
point is, I like that.
Do you have a question for me from
No.
your previous conversation?
No,
Why are
we
you
have too many
such a
people on the
bitch?
podcast now.
Why is your hat so
we should
gay?
have like 8 people.
What is that hat? What is that? A
Hollow
little
Knight.
It's
bird?
from Hollow Knight.
Oh, is it Hollow Knight? I like Hollow
That's
Knight.
actually a pretty
Hell
cool
yeah,
hat.
dude. That's an awesome
Fuck
hat.
you, Finn.
Is it Hollow Knight?
Is it? I don't think it is.
Matt,
so-
is it Hollow Knight?
Yeah, it's a plague doctor.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
fucking.
It
Uh,
looks like Hollow Knight.
Yeah, but there's no beaks on bugs. Bugs don't have
Still,
beaks.
Plague Doctor hat's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, bye.
God, I don't want to hang out with us.
Hey, we said bye.
Goodbye.
Jeez.
Bye.
Hey, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what?
Why would he say that to me?
That's a good comeback every time. You know what? Fuck you.
Dude, there was this French politician.
I didn't know that.
And he, so like somebody was like tweeted at him like, fucking these policies are really shitty. Nobody's ever gonna fucking take a word he says seriously. And he tweeted back to this rando, "Je te foutre," which means like I fuck you.
No, well, dude,
Hell
so
yeah.
like people are like, dude, it's so uncivilized in American politics when people are like subtweeting people, but then you go to like England and there's people when you get on the Parliament floor who are just like, boo, boo, you suck,
Boo,
It's-
you dumb.
Yeah, it's like
You stupid cunt.
it's like you can get up and then you can just flat out insult people to their face. It's awesome.
Romney's
Hell
fake
yeah.
Twitter.
God, dude, do you think he has a
Wait,
Finsta?
really?
No, you can look it up. There's a huge story about it that they like found it, and it was like he was basically trash talking Trump through it and stuff.
Well, that's pretty cool. There's a bunch of
absolutely like the baller Romney move. Like you're like, wait, Romney's actually doing this shit.
Who's
See,
that
that's
one
what
politician
fucking
who
Ted
liked the
Cruz
anime
needs
porn?
to do, because Ted
Well,
Cruz on
Ted
his
Cruz
main
won't
Twitter
go that
account
way.
is out of fucking control. Just make a private one and let all
I
your
think-
fucking frustrations.
Well, no, his base is digging that. His base
Well,
digs
yeah,
like.
he was at the CPAC recently and talking about how fucking like, oh, he was doing like a stand-up comedy bit, but it was just the shittiest stand-up comedy.
Isn't
bit
that
of
what all of
time.
like
Hey,
Trump's speeches
He
were?
drunk
Yeah.
the Trump Kool-Aid,
Yeah.
and he's
And
just
he's
drunk all
just
the way.
paying the price.
Dude.
He drank.
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 Fucking Al
What?
Franken.
Drink,
Drunk?
drank, drunk.
Drunk?
Apparently, Al Franken once went on an interview and he was like,
That guy's Jewish, right?
"Yeah, why? What? What does that matter?"
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, we just want
We're
our
all
viewers to
anti-Semitic.
know.
We would wait.
Going-
That guy's a
That guy's Jewish.
that's the reanimated corpse.
Al Frankenstein.
No, he made Ghostbusters.
Oh, so he is Jewish.
Oh, so
Probably.
I was not off with the reanimated corpse stuff.
Yeah, you were. It's not anything to do with Frankenstein.
Anyways, continue your
Certainly
point.
influenced.
Now that this information has come to light, please continue
He was
your
a
point.
fucking funny man. He was on SNL. He was hilarious. Ran for Congress, Minnesota. People liked him. Got me too. Really inappropriate.
Oh, that's too bad.
I feel worse for the woman.
No.
But apparently he was like, I like Ted Cruz more than most of my fellow senators, and I fucking hate Ted Cruz.
Fair enough, I guess. Oh, no, I know who Al Franken is, yeah. I was making a
Yeah.
joke.
Well, I
I know
mean-
who he is.
Yeah, I definitely.
He's the guy with
Now
the-
that I think about
Well,
it, I know
the
who
bolts.
he is.
The
He has
only
the big
reason
head.
that like people ever were just like, you know what,
No,
Trump's
that's
okay.
Al Franken's monster.
Dr. Al Franken.
The only reason anyone is ever like, you know what, Trump's okay is because he fucking skipped the line on that. Like, if he was just like, I'm the senator for New York, like, everyone
Yeah.
would hate him.
Yeah,
Like, there'd not
you're
be...
terrible. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like the fact that he basically just controlled an entire branch of government meant that they were like, all right, we've got to kind of deal with this. Whereas, like, it's like one senator, you can just be like, go fuck yourself. You...
Dude,
Yeah.
it is insane to me that people are
Fucking
still
weirdo.
like, fucking like, I'd vote for him again. Like, you know how many people died because of the coronavirus, and just like how like, there's no.
Which is all
we
Trump's
literally
fault.
could have stayed home if they did anything about it.
Yeah, they were like, don't get me wrong, like you can't throw that all on him, but he intentionally downplayed the seriousness of it and then admitted it to a reporter.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like, and then people were like, the thing is like for a long time it was like, well, the economy, it's really good for the economy.
I still think that
It's
if
so
the
good for the
coronavirus
stock market.
was
That's
not
crazy.
like did not exist in 2020,
Yeah,
he
it
would
would
have won.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, probably.
But like now that people can see like when leadership is on the table, like the fucking what national crisis is when you need like executive leadership.
Yeah.
Like the fucking you see what happened. It was
Yeah.
a
Well-
catastrophe.
Well,
He was not a leader, yeah.
Well, the reason why like executive leadership is so important is that like in times of like very like you hire a president because they're just like, all right, this represents the most of America, and in pinch times you have to make
you gotta have
decisions.
one dude
like,
sack up.
you
right?
have one dude sack up, and he also has to be able to make decisions in a second. Like he
Yeah.
has to be able to like, all right, we're mobilizing this. Like that's the reason why president can like basically declare war for like 30 days.
Yeah,
is because
dude,
it's like,
seriously.
all right, if you ever like if there was ever because like it takes so fucking long for like Congress to like do anything just by nature because they have to because like
fucking
checks
for
and
sure.
balances.
It's a fucking what? 50 people?
Yeah, but it's like when you have a guy who's just like, all right, I represent the country,
When
we're
you're
doing this shit.
Allowed to unilaterally drone strike civilians in Syria without congressional approval. That's what I
That's
want
when
to
you
see in
need
my
it.
president.
God,
That's what I want to see in my presidents every time
It's-
they get elected.
I do like how that's the one constant between like Bush,
All
Obama.
presidents.
Yeah, it's like it's just like the moment we invented drones, like every
It's like,
president.
oh, I gotta do
rego-
one of these.
Oh, I gotta get one in.
I
I'm
gotta
the
be
president.
straight.
How many
in,
drone
no.
strikes do you think happen just because the president's like, it's so hard to do anything else? I can just do a drone strike like whenever I want.
Like most days, I'm just sitting around fucking jerking
gotta
off.
be drunk.
not
Like,
doing
if
anything.
I try to pass a bill, it might get vetoed. It might, all this shit might happen. If I say I want some brown people dead, I can do that
Right now.
There's no,
like
there's
that. Like
no
fucking
ifs,
that.
ands, or buts. I respect that.
Yeah, so
You
they
know,
just do it.
I have some things to say about the current Biden administration, of course. But one of the things that's been on my mind recently, of course, we got the kids in the cool little baby internment camps now.
Yeah.
It's the nice internment camps.
Yeah, it's
for the
awesome. It's
children.
cool. Well,
But the thing that upsets me the most is the people on the right complaining about it now. It's like,
Yeah, right?
you're being, okay,
like,
they're being
please.
hypocrites, yes, and I hate that. But you're being a hypocrite for caring now, all of
Well,
a sudden.
you only care about the people on the right because you're not on the right, and you're seeing. And
Exactly.
you're like,
well,
oh,
yeah, I hate
nice
them
stuff.
for that. I
Yes.
hate them. They should care.
The fucking-
I'm glad they care now,
Deportation.
but you're still a
The
hypocrite.
fucking thing that frustrates me so much is like, I mean, what do you do, right? Like, you just deport all of them? Like,
Oh, was this nuance being had when Trump had all these kids in cages?
The fucking thing is, he dismantled all other holding cells, so it's like the cages are all.
No, there's no nuance. Let them go. Let them free.
Yeah. and-
Let them go
I
out
wish.
and earn a living.
Fuck it.
They just want
That'd be so funny if we like
give 'em a
if we
job.
free them like a prisoner, so they're just
Honestly.
like we're just like, all right, do you have someone to call to pick you up? And they're like, I'm fine.
You just put a kid out on the street wearing like an ill-fitting suit, and he has a briefcase, and he's like, I guess I'll try to survive.
If Madonna can do it, you can do it.
That'd be so funny.
Hey, don't
If
get me
you're
wrong, you have a
This
good
is the
point.
American
I
way.
was outraged by Trump, less outraged by Biden, just because like
He's your guy.
he's not.
He's on my sports team.
No,
He's
Biden is not
go
on my
blue,
team.
go blue.
No, he's not. Like I'm not a Democrat.
I will
Biden.
Biden. I'm going to President.
Nope. And I'm sorry, NSA.
Don't worry, we're last time Phineas said Kamala Harris, President Biden, I made sure to bleep both of those things.
God. If fucking, I'll give him like 6 months, and then if they're still in cages, I'll be like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
Come on, man!"
No, they're not gonna do anything. 6 months is.
Well, no,
fucking-
that's all the whole thing where people were like,
It
well,
took 6 months to get him built. That's when the family separation policy went into place.
it's more for me where I'm looking at this and people are like, dude, well he's gonna, and it's like, no, Biden, like the same way that like, you know, Trump was a little too buddy with Russia. Biden's a little too buddy with China. It's like it's like different sides of the same coin. They're politicians. They're not going to be able to do much.
Yeah.
And the idea of like influencing.
Well, they're not going to be able to do much is wrong. That's the wrong
They
part
won't
of
do
it.
much.
They won't do much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's interesting. Biden, like, he put an executive order to stop all deportations. Like he did that. It got blocked by a
Cool.
And he
Texas judge.
did a thing about private prisons too. What was that?
Yeah.
He's done some good stuff. But
Yeah, but
Sure.
it's also
it's gonna be
You know, Kamala Harris
kinda
was
half
just-
measures to all this stuff.
Well,
Like
for
you
now-
know, Kamala Harris was really
It's
pissed off
better
when he did
than
the
Trump
private prison.
by like
Yeah.
a huge
At least the
margin.
dude understands
but-
like basic tenets of government. Like
Well,
there were
no,
like times people were talking to Trump and he was like, you have to have a 2/3.
They're not
majority.
going
The
to-
biggest concern I have is that people are gonna be like, it's not Trump anymore. We don't have to worry about
Fucking-
politics.
No, liberals are already
that's-
doing that.
that's-
I know. I
what
can't
everybody-
fucking stand it.
Liberals
like,
are already all over that kind of mentality.
right. Like
It's
I
like
wouldn't call myself.
they're not doing the things that they literally pledged. Of course, like every president,
Yeah.
just never doing.
But
the
you
things
also
they pledge.
aren't taking.
But they're
them-
also able to do the things they pledge, which makes it worse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
well, it's one of those
Some
things.
presidents can't do the things they pledge. Almost understandable.
Like Obama was
Where-
like, I'm gonna fucking get us out of Iraq or some shit, and like fucking you can't do that safely in 8 years after
But
you fucking
they
dismantle the
could
government.
Yeah.
easily pass $15 minimum wage, $1,400 checks, which is not what they promised, but they can still do that.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's one of those things where people are very complacent because they're like, all right, like the media is telling me this guy's not on my side, so I should yell him down. And then like the people in the media who are like, Biden, Miss Biden, who's walking around with a scrunchie, really shows that they're in
Yeah.
touch with America.
No,
and I'm
that
like,
shit's
oh, you're
fucking-
an
yeah,
idiot.
yeah.
So you're just like a sycophant.
Well, yeah,
you're
there's
not like.
absolutely people whose number one complaint about Donald Trump was like the lack of civility.
Yeah.
It's like fuck you.
Yeah.
Kill yourself.
Yeah.
The worst thing
Right.
about Donald Trump
Actually
was
end your own
all the
life.
fucking horrible crimes he committed against the nation he was in charge of.
Yeah.
Not that he
He
said,
incited a riot.
like not that he said mean things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, honestly,
Like
it's-
that was
tried to
pretty embarrassing.
Dismantle democracy.
Yeah,
It's the ultimate
then people
presidential
were
crime.
like,
They
people were
should
like,
let
but he
him-
was still pretty rude, and like, I like that Biden's wife, you know, they've got like the dog, what is
The
it?
champ.
Like
Champ.
there's a fucking like.
I
This,
did see a thing that was like, finally, some dogs back in the White House.
and I'm just like, okay, before everyone's like, dude, the media sucks, and it's just like, okay, really, like, it's like, but now I'm just like, dude. Like this fucking shit where it's just like the moment that Biden comes into office, it's like, look at what the president's dogs are doing out on the
Look
out
at
on
the
the lawn. And it's
president's
like,
dog.
fuck you.
It fucking killed a brown person that tried to infiltrate the,
And we
the
think-
White
They're
House.
fucking guard dogs.
And I'm so glad that
Yeah,
we brought
like
it
if
back
Donald
to that.
Trump had a dog, but everyone was like, White House insiders say that Donald Trump's dog was way more racist. It barked at black people
Yeah.
all the time. No, feel like the peak of this were like just praising Biden for like not the stuff she'd be praising him for. Like, what if like during Thanksgiving he's like, Biden this time is unprecedentedly decided to pardon 2 turkeys. And everyone's like, he's a true humanitarian.
Yeah, those turkeys.
the
those
turkey-
turkeys were true fucking hardened criminals.
Yeah, well, no, and then I was about to say Kamala Khan. No, Kamala Harris. Kamala
It could
Harris.
be.
Kamala
Same
Khan
Yeah, it's totally
from moron combat.
Yeah, imagine later after Kamala Khan becomes Miss Marvel, she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go enslave a bunch of people in our prison system.
I'm gonna go, put forward my legislation pro death penalty.
I'm not going to stop the Senate parliamentarian.
After he pardons the two turkeys, like Kamala Khan is just on the White House like lawn, just like sniping both of
She's
them.
on top of the White House with the sniper rifle, yeah.
Yeah, she's just waiting. It's like, where is she? It's like.
For reference, the turkey that Trump pardoned was a white nationalist.
That was.
If we're speaking of government politicians, we should kill the Senate parliamentarian. Who's that guy?
Parliamentarian.
He's the guy who stopped them from passing the $15 minimum wage.
Oh yeah.
Out of some fucking dumbass rule called
fuck.
Bird's Law.
I know.
That was like established in like 1935 to stop FDR from passing too many good laws, from doing too much
Bird
social
law.
fucking.
I know. I
capital.
like the idea of passing a law just to stop other laws.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
like-
base as fuck.
And
Fuck
so
FDR.
the fucking Senate parliamentarian's like, actually, $15 minimum wage has nothing to do with the government budget, and it's like, it has everything to do with the government
No, it
budget.
doesn't. It doesn't.
We have to pay people
Okay, here's the thing. You can say
$15 an hour
No.
for the budget. Yes, that has something to do with the budget.
No, it does
very
not.
easily.
No, it does not.
What the fuck does it? You mean it doesn't? It does.
It
You have
doesn't-
to pay people minimum
it
wage.
has as
and
much to
we're
do.
gonna cut everything from here. And we're back.
What were you
I'm
saying?
gonna fuck your sister.
No.
All right, I gotta pee.
All right.
No, my
we're
sister.
gonna close the podcast talking about how we're all gonna fuck Jack's sister.
I'd rather you didn't.
All right, we're gonna talk about something else. Jack, you're the guest. Give us an improv prompt.
A greengrocer.
Who's the
No.
greengrocer?
No.
All right. The worst thing you could say is him. Yes, and. All right.
You
there
mean
you
what?
You're not implying anything.
Affirmative. Also.
Okay.
Oh.
And
Fuck,
see.
man.
And
The
see.
thing about
That
improv,
was great.
you know, the thing is there's like my favorite shows are improv based. Like It's Always Sunny and fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm.
They're always improv based, but based on like a very rigid, like here's the
They have a
script.
structure. Yeah, they're building it.
Yeah.
As well as they have incredibly talented improv.
Right? Like every improv,
They know
if
what
somebody's
they're
like, I'm in
doing.
an improv troupe. I'm like, all right, mark that under shit I never want to see.
Well, because that's also like it. Like the thing with like bands is that for the most part, there's this thing with music where it's like you can produce like okay music. When I listen to like okay or bad improv, it like I take damage, like physical damage when I do that. Where I'm just like, that's fine music. It's like I'm in a band where it's like I'm in an improv troupe. It's like if that improv troupe is not like
Sucks,
good,
Yeah.
I can't. I physically
I will
cannot.
not.
And even like excellent improv troupes, I'm like, you guys ever watch Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always like, these are the best in the field.
No,
Yeah.
they're pretty bad. They're pretty bad.
I'm like, is this you guys? How
I
much do you
mean,
guys pay these
they're
guys?
pretty bad to experience, but in terms of improvers, they are the best in the field.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't think of like a lot of improv I've seen where it's like, oh, this is what it's supposed
Yeah.
to be.
This is
Also
what
because improv right now is like fucking so masturbatory where it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
improv is based on like improv people learn from improv people how to do improv, so it's like, oh, this is funny if you were like knowledgeable in the field. Otherwise, to like a layman, it's not funny
It's
at
so
all.
different from like riffing, which
Yeah.
is the problem for me because I'm like trying to play a character spontaneously is so much different than just making like a comment
Yeah.
spontaneously,
Oh, yeah.
which is so much funnier than playing a character that nobody fucking. It's like,
Well, isn't it just
oh,
saying the
all
same
of a
thing as,
sudden
like,
I'm
role-playing,
this character.
right?
I mean, it's
Role
No,
playing,
role playing is an
This is
established
different.
character.
I mean,
You're
there's-
going to play a
There's
consistent character.
similarity. I see what you're saying.
There's
in that.
similarities, but you're going to play a consistent character throughout your role.
And
play
also,
usually.
like, the end goal of it's different.
Yeah.
Right?
one is immersion, one is entertainment.
yeah,
Yeah.
one is comedy.
That being said, I've seen like a show or two of Second City, and those guys are always pretty good.
Wait, who?
We went
did
to
I-
Second City on a school
Yeah.
trip, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, we did.
And like
yeah.
those guys, like
Well, that's because
everyone I've
it's
seen,
like SNL-esque, where it's like it's more like, all right, we have like bits, like we
Yeah,
have like
yeah.
actual things that we're trying to do, as opposed to like, all right, give us a scene, guys, come on,
Yeah.
come on,
God,
all right, you're at
give us a
immersion.
scene. My erection just
That's.
disappears.
I remember when there was
Write
a
the
chick.
joke for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a chick that I was trying to fuck, and she was like, "Well, like, what's my motivation for this?" And I just went limp, and she was
I'm
like,
like,
"Wait."
your motivation is to suck my cock, bitch.
And then she's like,
Wow,
"Wait, is
you should
that?"
star in porn.
Yeah, and it's like, "Wait, is there? what's all this anime on your wall? And I was like, get out of my house!
Like, your motivation is to watch all of One Piece and then suck my cock.
I don't want someone who hasn't cried during the walk to Arlong Park to suck my dick.
Jack fucking Ludovico techniques people
Yeah.
anime before he has sex with them.
Ludovico?
Like in the Clockwork Orange where they.
Oh yeah, that's the most terrifying thing. All my roommates come in, and of course I don't want to like bring them into my room because that'd be embarrassing. So I just have them
fucking
out on
gay.
like the main couch, and I'm just like Clockwork Oranging people to fucking watch like Hunter x Hunter. And they're
It's like,
just
what do you think about this?
And then they're just like, he's at it again, and they're like,
That being said, I wish, like, maybe not Congress, but I wish there were more, you know, like every anime has like a dude in the background that's like, that means if he goes this far, the fight might end completely. And then,
Yeah.
but he might never even get that. I wish that like existed for like Congress.
Real life.
Yeah, like there's just some dude. Yeah,
Isn't that like
that's
what
what
sports
the
announcers
news-
do?
Commentators on Congress would be tight.
Yeah.
On C-SPAN, yeah, you just got
C-SPAN
some guys like, oh my god, they've got this many votes on the bill. That means it's going to go straight to the Senate, and they're going to have to get a supermajority in order to pass this fucking bill. With the Senate parliamentarian, he could counter with the fucking...
exactly right. Like counterbreaker. Like John McCain, this is the last vote for Medicare, for Obamacare for all. What is he gonna do? This could end the entire thing right now.
Damn, that'd be hype as shit. Holy fuck.
Donald Trump is just like kneeling down. He looks hurt, and they're like, "He's not allowed to do that." But wait, what's this? He's like, "He's just gonna do it anyways."
It's like he just like
gets
pulls
up.
out an executive order, and then like the
an
C-SPAN
executive
camera
order!
zooms in and like pauses like a fucking
He
JoJo
holds out a
pose.
bill. It just says "Be racist," and he's like, "He did it. He pulled it
I
off."
I still like though how everybody like literally everybody whenever they want to make like political comments, they're not like, let's look at what the Biden administration's doing. They're like, let's go back to this well that is Trump.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
Where-
at this point
Trump is. I don't.
It's
People
done, it's
who were like
over.
when Biden got elected, are like, finally, it's such a lift off my shoulders that now we don't. I don't have to worry about
hey,
Trump.
you're
It's
a
like,
fucking
are
loser.
you
Yeah.
a fucking moron? Trump is gonna be in the fucking American culture for at least 10 more years.
Yeah, but like I
I don't know
feel
what you think you're getting.
I
away
feel like the
from.
people who
You don't
like
think
are
so?
just
No,
constantly
I said no. I
Oh,
totally
okay.
agree.
Yeah, I feel like the people who are constantly just like SNL skits. If there's
But-
ever an
Oh,
SNL
wait, we're
skit,
back in politics.
yeah. Okay. Shit. Wait, I have to finish this thought. Where it's like if there's another SNL skit where like fucking Alex Trebek or whatever comes in, or Alex.
He's
Trebek.
dead.
What
He's
the fuck?
dead. He
Who's
died.
the one guy? Who's the one guy?
Will
at
Ferrell.
30 Rock.
30
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, yeah. If he comes in and he's just like Trump and he's like, I'm Trump, blah, blah, blah. That's regressing that. Where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
people are now just like, well, Trump still has that much power because people still want to like riff
Dude,
on him.
Alec Baldwin becomes president because people think he is Trump.
Yeah.
That'd
The
be a
thing
good
that frustrates me and scares
That's
me.
the loophole.
This is the last one I'll say. Is that people think like Donald Trump is the problem? Like, he's the thing that's causing all these problems. Like, no, dude, he's just like the fact that people are willing to vote for him, like vote for hatred and fear, like unilaterally, and that our fucking politicians back it up. That's the fucking scary thing. Is that like
That's
you
the
could have?
true horror.
I can't make a better fiction than some dude inciting a riot on the Capitol and having his party still back him. Like I can't. I mean, that's fucking.
Yeah. All right.
That's Kafka.
You guys are fucking gay.
Yeah.
Stop listening to
Thanks
this.
for listening to the
Goodbye.
Brown.
Wait, no, we got a little more.
No, you guys
No.
are gay.
No.
Getting cut out. That's so getting cut out.
We gotta have a better end.
Wait, pressing space doesn't end it though.
Don't call them gay.
Yeah, you guys are probably gay or
Wait,
straight
guys. All right.
or whatever you identify as.
Who's your favorite superhero? Power. Favorite power.
Yeah, guys, email us your pronouns and your favorite superhero.